Good evening, everyone. We are live with Battletech. Good evening, Sin. I'm terribly sorry for so many false starts on Twitter. It's been a slightly eventful evening for me. Also, it seems like the audio might be a little loud. If you guys could let me know how the game-to-voice volume is, I will be sure to correct. Now I'm just going to delete that. Just playing around a little bit for the stream. So let's do a quick introduction. I don't want to do it too much because I was actually taking a look at some of the analytics of YouTube videos, and I'm finding out that these things do actually have a pulse. I normally leave YouTube as just kind of a I leave it as a sort of a dumping ground for the live streams for people who haven't been able to catch it. But it does seem that people like them, and I'm becoming a little bit conscious of the amount of sort of just like housekeeping and that I do at the beginning. That's not going away, but I feel like I can make it a little bit tighter. So, Battletech. This is a game that had a Kickstarter. This is by Harebrained Schemes, who did... I found out around the time that I was doing Shadowrun that they had made a game called Crimson Steam Pirates, which I enjoyed very much. I think it was the first game I ever played on iPad. But probably best known as the company founded by Jordan Wiseman. And Jordan Wiseman, formerly of FASA fame, responsible for RPGs such as Shadowrun, Battletech, and Earth Dawn, along with actually a bunch of other really cool companies. So I think he also did 42 Entertainment, which did a few alternate reality games like the Year Zero campaign for the Nine Inch Nails album of the same name. And I believe it's I Like Bees for Halo. Anyways, really interesting guy to follow in terms of what he does, and Battletech is a very famous franchise. I believe it's a tabletop game, a role-playing game, it's been an animated television show, it's been turned into the MechWarrior series of video games, it's been a big series of books. Probably the most recent iteration you've been able to play other than this thing has been MechWarrior Online, which I will confess I actually rather like, but I know is something of a controversial series. And I believe MechWarrior and Battletech are currently owned by Microsoft. So one of the things that's really great about Harebrained Schemes is it's not just that they've been able to bring back these really good... I hate using these terms, these really good IPs, but it's been brought back by somebody who effectively created them. And so Shadowrun got a really wonderful treatment, and in fact, if you buy it through GOG right now, and if you would like to use the affiliate link, that will put a little bit of revenue in my pocket without any additional cost to yourself, !game for that, you actually get a copy of Shadowrun Returns. So if you've not had the pleasure of playing that game, you'll be able to do that. I tremendously enjoyed Shadowrun Returns. We did Shadowrun Dragonfall on stream. I thought that was excellent. That was really the DLC that kind of ate the original game. And most recently we did Shadowrun Hong Kong. In fact, the only Harebrained Schemes game I haven't played is Necropolis. And that was one that just sort of fell off my radar. I think partially because it isn't tied to some of these games that I had played before. Oh, thank you so much for that, Hostsin. So the reason why I'm taking the time to talk about this is that I think that opening cinematic really gives you an idea of why it's really great that Harebrained Schemes was able to make this game as opposed to another company. Because giant stompy mechs is something that kind of anyone can do. But Battletech is very much more than that. I will confess, so I was a Kickstarter backer on this, and I actually bumped up my tier in order to play the beta, and while I thought the gameplay was alright, I wasn't incredibly happy with the beta experience in the sense that I sort of thought it would be a little bit more like an early access affair where you'd sort of be watching the game develop rather than just sort of this like limited window in which you'd sort of test out the multiplayer or something like that. Or not multi, but the skirmish mode. But, you know, that's probably, I think some of that's on me in terms of building some expectations that weren't there. And of course, the big drawback is that one of the things that I thought made Shadowrun so good was it bothered to worry about the world and the story behind them. And I mean, it's a world that hasn't necessarily aged very well. Just like if you go back and read Neuromancer right now, you realize that nobody has cell phones. But there's some value in doing that. And they told these really great stories. In fact, the stories got better as they kept going on. And so I think the real promise of Battletech is that they were able to, you know, you're able to take it and they're able to go into this whole, you know, sort of neo-feudal society that they've built. You got to see sort of the history of the Star League and the breaking apart. That cinematic does such a great job. Oh, Johnny Big Time, thank you very much for that host. I'm sorry you missed the opening cinematic. It's really good. You can see it online though. But it does this great job of introducing you to the world of Battletech. It sort of says, okay, what happened? Why are we here? Why are there giant robots running around shooting things? And I think the cinematic does a great job of setting you up there. So this game will be coming out this week, and we're going to be jumping into the campaign. So do keep in mind, I did talk about the story, I talked about the setting. If you would like to go in blind for the story, this may not be the stream for you. But for those of you who want to hang out and see what Battletech is all about, we are ready to go in now. While we're waiting for it to load, let me introduce you to two wonderful casters that I know. The Eyes of Sin 92 just moved across the country. She's been very busy, but she is a streamer, and she has done some old games, which I really loved. I mentioned games that I played on iPad when I first got it. She played Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery, which was a really... You want to see what it's all about because you have a 49-hour stream of this incoming? Absolutely, Johnny. I'm looking forward to seeing you do this. The Eyes of Sin played Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery, which is a game I tremendously enjoyed on iPad. It's a Canadian game. She's also the one responsible for the wonderful emotes that I have, and I don't feel bad self-promoting those emotes because Sin did an incredible job with them and with very little guidance. So if you are looking for emotes, by the way, this is one of the ways that she keeps a roof over her head and food in her belly. So I am very happy to recommend her. She's an absolute sweetheart, and she has got a great talent with art, in addition to being a very good caster herself. I'm going to shut up and you can enjoy another cinematic.
I am Kamea of House Arano, High Lady of the Oregon Reach, Protector of Coromidere, and the Sword of Restoration. But I am not a hero, no matter what the stories say. A hero would have sacrificed more, compromised less. A hero would have done better. You know this, of course. You were there. My father used to tell me stories about the ancient times, about the Star League, a golden age of prosperity, upheld by the great mech warriors of old, guardians of the innocent, protectors of the peace. I always dreamed of following in their footsteps. I was too young to see the truth of things. After all, it wasn't heroism or a noble cause that won me the throne. It was hiring a mercenary, skilled enough, perhaps ruthless enough, to carry the day. Hiring you. I still don't know if you fought for honor or for the thrill of it, for belief in my cause, or just in my money. But whether it was your noble heart or mercenary mind, your actions gave us hope. That makes you a hero in the eyes of history. Whether you believe it, that's up to you.
Welcome, Jesse Quill Raiders. Jesse Quill, Sparks 5, Celtic Wolf 25, Power Source X3, and Hidden Citizen. Great to see you all. This is not released yet. This will be coming out this week. We have got an early key. I was a Kickstarter backer to it, and I was actually really trying to avoid taking up a promoter key, but they did release the Kickstarter keys ahead of time to people for basically preloading, and as a result, I took the beta branch access that I got through the influencer key that I got, and then of course somebody else is able to use the key itself. So we are actually able to show it. I was potentially disappointed because this is one thing that I think a lot of game design developers, it's totally understandable why they miss it. But the funny thing is that you have your most dedicated fans are the people who will back the Kickstarter. And these are people who generally don't get the access, the influencer access. The influencer access is normally given to people who mail PR, and they wind up taking a code that potentially somebody would already take. So I really wanted to avoid the influencer codes. I didn't want to take a second key, basically, which is what one of the people at Harebrained Schemes recommended, which is really nice of them to do so. But I really don't like this idea of, why is my frame rate so low? Sorry guys, just give me one quick second here. Well, I'll have to live with it. But yeah, so it wound up working out. I'm streaming this a little bit later than I thought I would, but it's a wonderful chance to be able to do this, and you guys are going to be able to see what I'm talking about as far as story. Obviously, beautiful cinematics, wonderful score. John Everest did this, and again, it's just as great as the Shadowrun soundtracks, Dragonfall and Hong Kong. You can actually buy this soundtrack separately if turn-based strategy isn't your thing, but I am determined to convince you that this is absolutely worth it. Let me just take a second here and finish up my shoutouts. Johnny Big Time has been playing God of War. He's been doing a great job of it. He's been putting up with my bullshit in this cast as well. Sorry, I will not swear anymore during this cast, at least intentionally or unintentionally. Oh, thank you so much for that, Jess. You can actually also do exclamation point game. If you guys don't own a copy of Battletech yet and you want to pre-order it, you do get a free copy of Shadowrun Returns, which, while I'll say it's the worst of the Shadowrun games, it's a very good RPG. And that just has a little disclaimer saying that it's an affiliate link and whatnot. But thank you so much for that, Jess. Johnny is a hell of a caster. He's going to have to get short shrift on his shout-out, unfortunately, because I really want to get into this game and I want to show it to you guys. But he has got an amazing sense of humor. He has got a quick wit. He's got a tremendous patience with maybe people who are not exactly the kind of audience one would want at times. But he does great franchise playthroughs. He is willing to play just about anything, and he is a ton of fun to play games with. He's one of my highest recommendations as a caster. I definitely cannot, I cannot speak highly enough of him, and I would really strongly recommend that you guys check out his cast. And finally, we have got Jessie Quill, my dear mod, somebody who's currently streaming for charity. She's doing the St. Jude campaign, started today. She, I like to point out, she plays a lot of story-driven games, and so I know she has access to Battletech. I really hope that she does this, because while it's different from Shadowrun, I kind of think that, I don't know, as long as she's interested enough in strategy, I know she likes watching me play this, and her encouragement in terms of me being able to play strategy-based games as one of the reasons why I've continued to do these sorts of things. And again, that is definitely one thing that I can say about Jess, is that she's somebody who's really encouraged a lot of talent on Twitch. And I think there are a bunch of people who probably would have quit at some point, who she's encouraged and allowed them to grow as casters. So definitely beyond just her entertainment value, she's somebody who has done a really great job in terms of just sort of nurturing talents and nurturing people's ability to entertain, which means that all of you benefit from that. But with story-based games, I definitely think that is an edge that she has, and as much as she enjoys watching me play strategy games, I know that she is much better at them than she claims. I will definitely make a man out of her in Twilight Struggle if it kills me. But I'd love to see her play this game, and I'd love to see her take, because this is definitely a more story-oriented strategy game. And as a result, I think it's a nice blend between things that I really like, and I know she watches me play, but also some things that I think she's done quite well in the past. And that'll become apparent when I kind of jump into this game. So, Welcome to the Oregon Reach. The Oregon Reach is a small kingdom in the Rimward Periphery. This game is published by Paradox, so a little bit like Tyranny. I'm sure Hairbrain did this on their own. You can mouse over any Battletech terms that you're unfamiliar with, and it will explain it for you. So the Periphery is a region of space bordering and surrounding the Inner Sphere. The area directly opposite the galactic core is known as the Rimward Periphery. The Rimward Periphery is home to major states such as the Magistry of Canopus, the Turian Concordat, and the Oregon Coalition, as well as a large number of independent worlds. Now, this is the funny thing. I quite liked Battletech as a tabletop game, but I always knew about the Inner Sphere. I was always split between the Lyrian Commonwealth and the Federated Sons, House Steiner and House Davion. So I know very little about the Periphery, so this is quite exciting to me because there's a bunch of different ideas in the Battletech world which I haven't explored, and that is exactly what happens inside this game. So the Inner Sphere. The Inner Sphere is the region of space within about 500 light years of Terra. This area is divided between the 5 successor states to the former Star League. This region is the heart of human civilization and culture. Beyond the Inner Sphere is the Periphery. Anyways, Rimward Periphery, a region of space that lies in the outskirts of the more densely colonized Inner Sphere. It is home to the Oregon Coalition, a federation organized around a parliamentary monarchy and ruled by the Arano family. For 3 generations under the rule of House Arano, the Oregon Coalition has remained a relatively peaceful corner of the Periphery. It is here that your story begins. Alright, decades ago, your family came to the Reach from. So for those of you unfamiliar with Battletech, the Inner Sphere is divided amongst major houses. So these would be House Kurita, Merrick, Davion, Steiner, and Liao. And they're all known as the Draconis Combine, which is sort of built around... Actually, you know what? I might as well read these out. I know, again, it's going to be very story-oriented, so we won't get too far in the campaign, I don't think, but this is more than just robots hitting each other. This is definitely something to be experienced. You want to throw yourself into stories like this. So let's decide where we're from. You can be from the Draconis Combine. Mech warriors who hail from the Combine tend to be fierce, disciplined, and relentless fighters, no matter the odds they might face on the battlefield. Although the Draconis Combine is as ethically diverse as any of the vast interstellar empires, it is also one of the most culturally homogeneous. Over centuries of rule, the founding House Kurita has succeeded in uniting the people of the Combine into a single culture, one heavily molded around medieval Japanese society. While some, most notably the descendants of the conquered principality of the Rasselhag, continue to chafe at the uniformity of Draconis society, overall this has created a more cohesive populace and military than seen in the other great houses of the Inner Sphere. Thank you very much for that promotion on the Eyes of Sin. I definitely appreciate stuff like that. So we've got the Free Worlds League, which I think probably if I were to pledge allegiance, actually that's not true. I think if I were to pledge allegiance today, I might go for the Free Worlds League, but I still think I'm probably a Steiner or Davion man. Mech warriors who hail from the Free Worlds League tend to be passionate, enduring fighters who value justice and equality above all else. The oldest and theoretically most democratic of the great successor states of the Inner Sphere, the Free Worlds League is actually a broad coalition of many minor noble houses. For most of the League's history, it has been ruled under martial law by a Captain General, who by tradition is from House Merrick. The cultural diversity and relative independence of its component regions are at once the greatest strength of the Free Worlds League and its greatest weakness, so I think probably the alliance in Elite Dangerous would be the best comparison that I could make. We've got the Federated Sons, House Davion. Mech warriors who hail from the Federated Sons tend to possess more finely honed skills and better equipment than their counterparts from other regions of space. They often see themselves as righteous warriors and champions of liberty, sometimes to a fault. Though nearly extinguished by the Draconis Combine in the First Succession War, the Federated Sons, a constitutional monarchy ruled by the renowned House Davion, has become arguably the most powerful of the 5 great successor states. Through skillful military campaigns and subtle diplomacy, House Davion has significantly increased the number of star systems under its control in the last 2 centuries. And I think in the reading and all of that, they tend to say it's it's modeled very much after the Germans. Onto the Lyrian Commonwealth. Mech warriors who hail from the Lyrian Commonwealth tend to be hardy, well-equipped, and well-trained, though they have earned a reputation for not being particularly strategic thinkers on the battlefield. Wealth is the greatest strength of the merchant princes of the Lyrian Commonwealth, ruled by House Steiner. Despite a number of humiliating defeats in the first 2 succession wars, the Lyrian Commonwealth has bounced back thanks to the combined strength of its economy, the biggest of the 5 great successor states, and its control of the Inner Sphere's largest functioning battle mech factories. What the Lyrian Commonwealth may lack in military prowess, it makes up for with raw numbers and industrial scale. And later on, depending on what timeline you pay attention to, there is a marriage between Steiner and Davion, which makes the Lyrian Commonwealth military get a bit of an overhaul. The Capellan Confederation, House Liao. Mech warriors who hail from the Capellan Confederation are dedicated and steadfast combatants, capable of holding the line and often surprising those opponents who would make the mistake of underestimating them. The Capellan Confederation has suffered most at the hands of the other successor states over the last 2 centuries of war, having lost nearly half the territory it once controlled at the height of the Star League's rule. Over time, the leadership of House Liao has transformed the Capellan Confederation into a socialist police state with a highly regulated economy. Most Capellans take pride in their citizenship, which must be earned through service to the state. Alright, and periphery states. I don't know anything about these. By the way, I'd be very interested to hear what house you guys think would most fit me. This is like a Facebook personality quiz, except with a stream chat. Mech warriors who hail from the Magistry of Canopus can run the gamut of skill and fighting styles, but they often favor clever and unorthodox tactics on the field. While smaller than the great successor states of the Inner Sphere, the Magistry of Canopus is one of the major powers of the Rimward Periphery. The Magistry is a matriarchal society led by a Magistrix. This is an elected position open to any woman, but largely controlled by House Centrella due to the family's popularity. The Magistry supports an open society that ensures the personal liberty of all citizens and their right to live their lives as they see fit. The Turian Concordat. Mech warriors who hail from the Turian Concordat tend to be stubborn and aggressive. They can be quick to anger, but they are nonetheless skilled and perceptive combatants. Founded as a constitutional monarchy under the leadership of House Calderon, the Turian Concordat is the strongest military power of the Rimward Periphery. It has been one of the oldest surviving realms of human civilization, having been formed long before the creation of the Star League. Turian citizens enjoy extensive freedoms guaranteed by the Concordat Charter, and take pride in defending those freedoms through compulsory service. The Turian Concordat has long had an antagonistic relationship with the Inner Sphere, particularly with the Federated Suns. The Rimward Periphery. There is no easy way to characterize mech warriors hailing from the Rimward Periphery. They can be anything from petty thugs to ruthless tacticians to skilled and honorable warriors. The nations and minor noble houses of the Rimward Periphery have long played a role in shaping humanity. The Star League's downfall began in the Periphery, eventually leading to the current tattered state of the disparate star systems on the edge of known space. The Periphery is still the galaxy's frontier, where the great houses of the Inner Sphere play deadly politics. Petty bandit kingdoms thrive, and pirate bands prey on minor noble houses trying to survive in the hostile environment. And the Deep Periphery. Mech warriors that hail from the Deep Periphery are rare, but even rarer is the mech warrior who will admit to such an origin. Beyond the outermost edges of the Periphery lie the depths of space that remain uncharted and unknown to most human civilization. Little is known about these regions, but they are far from uninhabited. The Deep Periphery is littered with abandoned colonies and small outposts isolated from the rest of humanity. After the fall of the Star League, General Alexander Kerensky led the remnants of the Star League Defense Force into the Deep Periphery, disappearing from the Inner Sphere and from recorded history. But they come back, maybe in a future DLC? Alright, so I should have said it was the great houses I'm going to go for, and I think in this case my family came to the Reach from the Federated Suns. Though immigrants to the Oregon Reach, your family soon established a comfortable presence in a small backwater system on the edge of Oregon space. By the time you were born, your family had become the de facto ruling nobility of the system's only inhabited planet. You were the oldest child, heir to the family's titles and ancestral battle mech, an old Blackjack BJ-1. This is where you met Raju Mastiff Montgomery, a veteran of the Succession Wars, whom your parents hired on for a season to train you as a mech warrior. You like Steiner as well? Yeah, so that's funny, actually. That's what I normally play, Jess. I was going to do the Federated Suns just because in this case I want to be a champion of liberty to a fault. But this will be fun. My brother actually really liked House Kurita, and I know a bunch of people who really like House Kurita, and I've always thought of them as hated enemies. So, I wanted to do Davion just because it's not something I normally do. Alright. You met Raju Mastiff Montgomery, a veteran of the Succession Wars, whom your parents hired on for a season to train you as a mech warrior. Raju was a strict but capable teacher, and you quickly became a skilled pilot under his tutelage. It was an uneventful life. Until the day after your 16th birthday, when... I have two Eyes of Sin. I can be exiled. Once a promising young scion of your family, you committed an unforgivable transgression and were sentenced to life in exile. You stole away with the family's ancestral blackjack and set off to find a new life to call your own. I could say we struck out on our own. As an heir to a noble family, you grew up wanting for nothing. And as it turns out, you couldn't stand a life of pampered nobility. Finally, one night, you stole away with the family's ancestral blackjack and set off to find a new life to call your own. Your family went bankrupt. As you grew older, you watched your family's fortune, income, and influence slowly dwindle away until there was nothing left. Your parents, driven to despair, took their own lives. With nothing but your family's ancestral blackjack left to call your own, you set off to make a new life for yourself. Your family died in an accident. The rest of your family died in a freak jump ship accident, after which you discovered that they had left nothing behind but piles of debt. After selling everything to settle the debt, you set off on your own, with only your family's ancestral blackjack left to your name, or your family was betrayed. Your family was betrayed and its seat of power destroyed. You defeated the betrayers, but you were the sole surviving member of your house. With nothing but your family's ancestral blackjack left to call your own, you set off to make a new life for yourself. Let's say I was exiled. So once the promising young scion of your family, you committed an unforgivable transgression and were sentenced to life in exile. You stole away with the family's ancestral blackjack and set off to find a new life to call your own. Out on your own, you fell into the life of Oregon Coalition soldier. Unsure of your prospects, you traveled to Cormadir, the capital of the Oregon Coalition, and enlisted in the Coalition military. You quickly rose through the ranks, distinguishing yourself as a reliable mech warrior. Life as a soldier wasn't glamorous, but it suited you just fine. Frontier pirates, tired of living under the authority of others, you fell in with a local pirate gang in the Rimward Periphery. It was an unruly crew, but an effective one. Roaming the periphery afforded your outfit a steady supply of poorly defended merchant caravans and supply depots to prey upon. While raids did occasionally devolve into combat, you quickly learned that successful piracy is mostly about being in the right place at the right time with the right threats and a good show of force. A Solaris gladiator, you took your skills as a mech warrior to the famed arena planet of Solaris 7. There, you eked out a living as a gladiator, fighting for the crowd in minor arenas, getting by paycheck to paycheck. Innersphere mercenary, eager to get away from it all, you joined up with a minor Innersphere mercenary unit. Integrating into the tight-knit crew took time, but eventually proved your worth and became part of the family. Frontier freelancer, you roam the Rimward Periphery as a freelancer, signing on for whatever odd contracts you could find as a mech warrior for hire. It was a solitary life, but as you became more comfortable with the itinerant lifestyle, you found you were able to make a decent living helping the people on the frontier. And merchant guard, you signed on as a guard for a small trading guild, providing security as the guild caravan made trading runs between the Innersphere and the Periphery. It was largely uneventful life, but you were able to put your mech warrior skills to good use in the occasional scuffle with pirates and uncooperative local governments. I think in this case I'm going to say, from my Steiner background, or my Federated Sons background, I decided that I needed some kind of regimented lifestyle, and I became a Oregon Coalition soldier. Incidentally, it is important, so you'll notice here that with Innersphere Mercenary and Frontier Guard, you do get the same bonus, but it actually makes a difference what you pick. At the very least, it gives you meaning to what you're doing. A person who becomes, a pirate versus, actually I don't know if you get guts anywhere else. But yeah, like obviously the choice that you make gives you a different story, and this game is more than just a bunch of tactical battles. Until years later, you crossed paths with Raju Mastiff Montgomery once again. On an ill-fated mission, you were caught behind enemy lines and separated from your lance. Raju happened to be on a patrol nearby, and he launched a daring rescue. Upon finding out it was you he had rescued, he brought you into the House Arano Royal Guard. So it is that you find yourself reunited with your old mentor, preparing your ancestral blackjack for guard duty on the coronation day of Lady Kamea Arano. Alright. I'm sorry, but I will be a milady. Sorry, I will not be a milady, I will be a monsieur. But you have he, she, and they. There's actually quite a bit of customization that you can get in here. But I think I'm just going to go for a default. Look, I'd kind of prefer a clean-cut soldier type. That's not too bad, actually. You know, short hair, preferably no beard, and eyes. Those eyes look very strange. Oh, neat. Let's go for something a little more dramatic. Can we go no tattoo? Yes, we can. I guess I'm gonna have to live with... There we go. Look at that steely look. Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy with this, so I'll just live with this. All right. You can incidentally randomize call sign and such, but let's go with the classic. Finn Haley. I like the name Finn. All right. My character background. Decades ago, my family came to the Oregon Reach from the Federated Sun. Until the day of my 16th birthday, I were exiled for an unforgivable transgression. And out on my own, I fell into the life of an Oregon soldier. I've got ridiculous gunnery. I'm apparently a crack shot, but a crap pilot. And you may call me he. Oh God, what do they say for pronoun they? High Lord Tamati Arano II is dead. The Oregon Reach is left at an uncertain crossroads. Once prosperous, it is now a kingdom in decline, surrounded by powerful neighbors. Lord Santiago Espinosa, brother-in-law to the late High Lord, is convinced the slow-moving Council of Founding Heroes must be dissolved. His proposed directive would conscript their house guard and centralize power under a single throne. However, the High Lord's heir, the noble Lady Kamea Arano, is determined to rebuild the Reach without transforming it into an authoritarian state. She refuses to enact her uncle's directive and has rebuked his vehement pleas to reconsider. On the morning of Lady Arano's ascension to the throne, her loyal captain of the guard, Raju Mastiff Montgomery, makes preparations to escort her safely to the coronation procession that awaits in Cordia City. Coronation Day, Arano Summer Palace, 8:53 local time. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some things from the game, like the tabletop game that they added, but I'm going to talk about them as they emerge in the game itself. It'd be kind of fun if we can sort of discover the game together. So I really love the art on this. I thought they did a really good job of it. One comment I'll make, this is a little bit like XCOM 2 when it first came out, which is it feels like it takes a while for things to load. Now, in fairness, I did put this on my hard drive, not my solid state drive, so I think part of this might be my computer rather than the game itself. But that's one small comment I'll make for people looking into it. But honestly, if you're going to say, I didn't like Battletech because it took too long to load, get over yourself.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, move the mouse to the edge of the screen or use WASD to move the camera. If you go to the edge of the screen, you are a terrible person. Use the right mouse button or Q and E to rotate the camera. Okay, System Chalk. I heard the Espinosa refit yards rush the repairs on your Blackjack. Looks like it's all in one piece, but we should run some diagnostics on it, just to be sure. Standard field tests. You know the drill. More importantly, though, I want to tell you more about the job I brought you out here to do. Now do me a favor and get that Battletech moving. Let's see if there are any kinks in the actuators. I mean, my piloting's too, so I might just make this thing fall over on its own. Click on the Mech Warrior's portrait and press Tab to cycle between available units.
I wasn't completely honest with you the other day. There's gonna be more to this job than escort duty.
Move your mouse to the indicated point, click once again where you wish to move, and then click again to choose what direction to face. I brought you here because there's something wrong in the capital. It's been too quiet since High Lord Tamati's funeral, and I'm worried about Lady Kamea's safety during her coronation procession. Anyway, looks like your actuators check out. Let's conduct a weapons test. Target one of those burnt-out old urban mechs and open fire.
Like I was saying, I can't prove anything, but my gut tells me something's off, and a warrior trusts their instincts.
Alright, let's just take a second and get in close to the... I think... Oh, nope, that didn't work. I guess I gotta do the right mouse button. So one of the things that really caught my attention about Battletech, the mechs. So it's hard to tell from, it's sort of hard to tell from this perspective. But when you kind of look into the background for Battletech and that, the mechs are actually smaller than what you normally associate. But one thing that's really cool about this game, you won't see it right now, but they actually reintroduced. So one of the things that was tough about the Battletech tabletop game was there were very few reasons to like use tanks and stuff like that. When you get a game which is all about big mechs, you usually want to play the mechs, whereas this game, you know, the AI can play the tanks. That's totally fine. You can still focus on your mech, and you actually get to see about the dynamic. The idea in the Battletech world is that mechs were just an absolute game changer, and so like my family becoming the sort of the ruler of this one system, that's partially in the fact that they just simply have better weapons technology. So it's a neat idea, and I like the way that that's sort of been reintegrated in the game. So anyways, we're going to shoot a test dummy. Now what you can do, select your target with your mouse, press tab to cycle between targets, and click fire when ready. In this case, I'm going to avoid spending the ammo on this this test dummy, and I'm going to open fire with my medium lasers.
Engaging target. Enemy mech destroyed.
Good shot. Your guns are in working order at least. I've been training Lady Orano since she was 14 years old. She can be naive at times and proud, but I have no doubt that she'll be a just and effective ruler. It's on us to see her safely to Cordia City. I'll rest easier once she's in the capital with her cousin Victoria by her side. Lady Victoria, well, she's only been training under me for a single season, but she's already shaped herself into one of the strongest mech warriors I've ever seen. Reminds me a lot of you, truth be told. Anyway, we should check out your targeting computer. You see that drone over there? The one moving through the tree line? Put some hurt on it for me, and when it turns, take it out with a rear angle shot. After it's down, we'll keep moving.
Kamea's like a daughter to me, and her late father, High Lord Tamati, was a good friend.
So same story here. One nice thing is they keep your old firing pattern, so in this case we'll just blast it with the lasers again.
Victoria pulls no punches, but she's been a loyal companion to Kamea since they were kids. Aside from you, there's no one I'd rather have by my side in a fight.
So one thing you can do here, you'll get a bit of a readout in terms of what's going on with the vehicles. So you can notice here, on the right-hand side, we blasted it with a bunch of lasers. You've got the armor at the top, which is now 18 out of 75, and then the structure on the right-hand side of the vehicle is 22. We're going to be shooting it at the back, and the game has sort of adjusted it. So notice here that its structure is only 1, and its armor is 7. So as long as I get 1 hit on this thing, it'll be good to go. And I mean, obviously it's because it's a tutorial, so it's not going to be that particularly hard.
Targeting rear armor.
I do like the camera work that they add to this, by the way. It reminds me of Endless Space a bit. Hey, the exception.
Unit destroyed.
Nice shot. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with Oregon politics, but the Reach was badly shaken by High Lord Tamati's death. It needs a smooth transfer of power, and Kamea belongs on the Cormorant throne. Go ahead and fire up your jump jets, Kit. I want to see you descend this cliff face. Aim for that patch of ground over there, near the edge of the lake. Alright. One of the neat things about jump jets is they allow you to spin around. So like if you're running with your mech, you can't always turn whatever direction you want. But jump jets do allow you to do fancy stuff like jumping over someone and like spinning around and shooting them in the back or something like that. So anyways.
Engaging jump jets. Enemy detected.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Jump jets build a lot of heat, and that was more than your engine could handle. Head on into that water. We need to get you cooled off.
So if you want a role-playing analogy, in MechWarrior, you can't just turn every weapon on and blast away. Your mech will start overheating. So you can almost think of heat as mana in this game. And one nice thing, and this holds true, by the way, in MechWarrior Online. If you want, you can actually go into the water, and it will improve your heat management. Computer warning: plasma leak detected. Jump jet malfunction. Jump jet systems damaged. System inoperable until repaired. Oh, for the love of the gods! That's what I get for insisting on a rush job. Not that I had much of a choice. The Espinosa refit yards were backlogged like you wouldn't believe. It looked like they were trying to process every single Royal Guard mech in time for the coronation. There isn't any time to get your jets replaced, so we're gonna have to make do without them. Go ahead and get that mech down with a melee attack. I want to be sure that nothing else is gonna break down on your blackjack before we take it out on the Cormorant Road. Click the melee targeting reticle on the enemy, or press V to cycle through the melee targets, then the attack button. So this is one thing I was never quite clear about when it says click the melee targeting reticle. Oh, I'm assuming it's the yellow box here. One thing that I love, and I don't think a lot of mech games have really been able to do this, which is the hand-to-hand combat. Now, normally a mech like this would not be great for it because it doesn't have any hands, but we won't let that bother us.
Engaging.
Sparta! Good hit. At least that's solid. Alright, one last test. I want to take your blackjack up to a sprint and evade my attack.
Push that engine, kid. If something goes wrong today, I want to know that your mech can maneuver.
The farther you move, the more evasive charges you will gain. Each evasive charge makes you harder to hit. So what you can do here is you select sprint, and in MechWarrior, so when I personally play Battletech, I love like just huge monsters like the Atlas. But when I play MechWarrior Online, I really like things like the Locust, because if you could just, make that engine sing, nobody can touch you. And that's a little bit about what's going on here. Congratulations, System Chalk. Your blackjack's as combat ready as it can be, given the circumstances. For what it's worth, I hope that my suspicions turn out to be unfounded. We end the day having a good laugh about what a paranoid old man I've become. But if not, then I know that you'll be ready. Alright, time to move out. Lady Arano is waiting for us at the mech bay.
An impressive display, Sir Raju. Of course, this mech warrior was a student of yours. I'd expect them to know their way around a cockpit.
Alright.
Full throttle.
System Chalk, allow me to introduce Kamea Arano, the soon-to-be High Lady of the Oregon Coalition. Is Lady Victoria on this channel? For the time being, my father has summoned me to the Picton docks. I have a fleet inspection and a tour for the family refit yards to preside over before the coronation. Behold the responsibilities of a noble daughter, a fount of tedium that never runs dry. I know the feeling, cousin. By this time tomorrow, I'll be responsible for the entire reach. Give my best to your father, and don't be late for the tourney. The gambling dens are already taking bets on how long it'll take me to cripple that customized monstrosity you pilot. Bold words, cousin. The only victory they'll be celebrating is mine. You may be ascending the throne today, but my Kaga is more than a match for the family heirloom that you call a battle mech, and in the arena, I reign supreme. We'll see, cousin. We'll see. At any rate, I will see you at the tourney grounds, Sir Raju. I am ready to go when you are. Overland, along Cormorant Road, as is the Arano tradition. Arano tradition. Aye, Kamea. We'll get you there in one piece. System Chalk, fall in behind me. And remember what I told you.
Mission successful.
Yes! Oh, I'm so good at Battletech! Ah!
I remember the Oregon Reach of old, the time of the Great Expansion. I was just a boy then. Proudly we went forth, bringing the light of our coalition to so many systems. And for what? To see our great kingdom slowly waste away? Year after year, the Council deliberates while our economy falters, and the wolves bay at every door, while covetous neighbors plot against us.
Who are the
But
wolves?
I say, it can go no further. We are here today because if Lady Orana will not act, someone must. I know what I'm asking of you. You will face former comrades, or even loved ones, on the battlefield. I take up arms against my own niece. But remember, today we sacrifice so that tomorrow we can return our kingdom to its proper glory, to its proper strength. So should you fall tonight, know that you did so as true heroes of the Reach. To your stations, for the Directorate!
Yeah! I want to go with that guy. Coronation Day, Cordia City outskirts, 1322 local time. So, how was everyone's Monday? Cool Guy 351, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you like loading screens. And I'm sorry that the other 350 cool guys got ahead of you, but you are the coolest guy in my eyes, for what that matters. I was alright. I got volunteered for a job at work, but it's fine.
Command interface initiated.
I'm going to miss this, Raju. The clarity of purpose that I feel in the cockpit of a battle mech, the simplicity of it. But there they are, just up ahead, the city gates, and my future, all laid out before me. Wait, what's that smoke? A guard post. One of the small ones that dot the roads leading to the capital, but the emergency band's been quiet all morning. I haven't heard anything about a fire.
This is damned odd, and I don't like it. Kid, keep your head on a swivel and be ready for anything.
Where might I find a swivel, sir? Alright, so I'm going to move, the green dots indicate basically being in woods. So force reduces movement and spotting distance and provides cover, 25% damage reduction against ranged attacks on the front and the side. Does not stack with guarded. So the idea here is that if there's just some sort of danger in the area, being in cover is it's a help. There we go. Some sort of explosion. It looks recent, too. Do you think it was an accident? No chance. You see those scorch marks in the rubble? That's laser fire. We need to get you out of here, Kamea. Right now. Yes, I think you're right. There's a patrol of Royal Guard mechs up ahead. We should go to them.
Whatever's happening here, I won't let it derail your coronation. Your people need you.
Thank Thank you, Raju. I will prove myself worthy of the faith you've placed in me.
This guy's like the Jorah of Battletech. I won't let them stop your coronation, my lady. Alright.
Aye, aye.
Rogusagi, thank you very much for that host. Obviously, if it's a mech game, you want to walk through as many, like, buildings as possible so you can see them just smash everything. So the reason I moved her there is, again, she's the VIP target, so I want to make sure that she's sort of behind the wall of angry people with guns.
Copy that.
Sounds good. I'm moving.
One thing that's really nice about this is that you're able to move multiple mechs. I mean, so once the combat comes up, it's still properly turn-based, but when you're in sort of these movement phases, you're able to move more than one mech at a time, which is a nice touch. Hail, Mastiff. Hail, Lady Arano. We were preparing for Lady Arano's coronation parade when we got word of a disturbance along the Cormorant Road. A guard post behind us was attacked. Sir Raju found evidence of laser fire. Is the road behind you clear? Aye, all the way to the southern gate. Lead the way, Sir Raju. We'll fall in behind you and guard your six. Tell me something, guardsman. If the road is clear, why is your battle mech damaged? Our mechs are overdue for maintenance. But it isn't important right now. We need to worry about Lady Arano's safety. Now, my lady, if you'll come with us. No, you're lying to us. It's my coronation day. No mech tech would have sent you out on parade duty in that condition. I am your sovereign, sir, and you will tell me what happened here. Damn it, girl, we don't have time for this. Take them! Kill the old man and the mech warrior, but take Lady Arano alive.
Fall back, Kamea. Get behind us.
You didn't train me to cower, Raju. You trained me to fight.
Once combat has begun,
Disengaged.
Alright, once combat has begun, different mechs move at different phases. Lighter units generally move earlier than heavier ones. To reserve all units' actions to a later phase, use the reserve button or press the end key. Alright, Mastiff. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you need that? Okay, let me get my guy up. So the big question is, do I want to punch the crap out of this guy, or do I want to go after his buddy? You know what? I really like melee attacks, so. Sparta!
Physical attack.
Oh, we didn't take him out. All right, so let's get Kamea. I want her in a position of safety. So I'm slightly curious about that line. I don't know if that means that I'm not able to attack or what. Okay, so we'll just use the missiles here. So one of the reasons I want to do the LRMs right now is this guy's close to being knocked down, which is what this yellow line means. So if I'm not able to destroy them, which is very likely I am, the very least I'm going to be able to sort of knock them down, and that takes a piece off the board.
Confirmed.
Talk to me.
Okay, so I have a decision to make. Either I'm going to stomp on this guy or I'm going to shoot on him. We might as well take this thing out of action, though, so.
To hell with the weapons.
Oh, Jesus, it's not dead yet!
That was sloppy, lad.
Engaging physical attack.
Oh, Christ almighty. Okay, so apparently that ripped through my armor.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
Okay, hopefully Kamei is able to take this thing out, otherwise I'm in a bit of trouble.
Good hit.
Target eliminated.
Okay, so
Got your back.
I can do another physical strike on this guy. That may not be a terrible idea now that I think about it, so let's take a look at what he's got. I mean, he's fairly weak on armor overall. But yeah, I think we'll go into melee range on this. Oh, he gets a shot on the back. But this gives me a nice opportunity, so... So I'm going to get into a little cover myself, but I'm going to get a nice shot on his back armor, so... And you know what? We're going to do a good old-fashioned alpha... Oh, actually, no, I can't do a called strike, unfortunately. So what are we looking at here? 90 structure... I don't know how much damage this stuff... Oh, 25. Yeah, you know what? We'll open fire with everything. I'll admit, I'm a little surprised that didn't kill him.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Alright, Kameo, what can you do? In the best version of this, I'm able to get a clear shot on him, but unfortunately I can't. Ooh, can I do a death from above? No, I cannot. So we'll just do a standard move. I'm going to get her into position and we'll get... I do want to try and get some... I want to try and get a missile shot on that guy's back on the chance that I'm able to... on the chance I'm able to do some reasonable damage. It's probably not going to happen, so second best is I'm able to knock out some more of his...
I'll make it happen.
more of his gear. Didn't even get that. Alright.
How can I help? To hell with the weapons.
Apparently I just really love doing the old Monty Python routine on these guys. Yep, well, you got some shots on my back now.
You need more practice.
Alright, so for me... I don't think I'm going to be able to get a shot on... I don't think I'm going to be able to get a shot on his back again, so... The reason I'm doing the move and fire is just so that I can get a couple of evasion points. I guess he's technically already moved, but... And I've got the heat for another alpha strike, so...
Enemy mech. Critical damage.
So at this point I either need to get the other... I need to either get the other...
Loud and clear.
the other... whatchamacallit. I need to get the other torso down,
Moving out.
or a shot on the center. Now, in this case, this isn't my favorite move because it is taking a VIP out in the open, but she's in a fresh mech, and I mean, it's a high ground shot, and I'm able to do another alpha strike, although I'll disable the LRM because that's only a 55% chance to hit.
You chose the wrong side.
Kamea, can you hear me? Alexander, we were just attacked. The Royal Guard, my own guardsmen, tried to take me prisoner. It's happening here too. The Royal Guard are killing one another in the halls. Lord Karas's house guard just got gunned down in front of me. The tourney pavilion is a slaughterhouse. I won't let these seditionists, or whoever they are, steal my birthright. We need to rally every loyalist we can find and make a push on the capital. I'll take my throne by force if I must. Go to the Rotura Township, to the armory. Your soldiers are using it as a rallying point. I heard that Lord Decimus sent his house guard there a few minutes ago. Someone's here. I have to move. Rally what forces you can and meet me at the tourney grounds. Be safe. You heard it, Mastiff. Rotura Township. We'll go there, rally our fighters, and march on the southern gate with an army at our back. Kamea, I know that you and Lord Medere are friends, but we can't take what he told you on faith. Right now, we don't know who we can trust. In this case, we do. Alexander has been my closest friend and confidant for as long as I can remember. His loyalty is beyond question, and I trust him with my life, and yours. Now take me to the armory. As you command, my lady.
Traitors in the guard. And I fear this is only the beginning.
In this case, we're just going to do...
Keep close and remember your training.
We'll do a regular...
Things are likely to get ugly between here and there.
We'll do just...
I'm on it.
regular sprints for everyone. I'm going to be a little bit slower with my blackjack because it's taken some damage. The left arm is hurt. Up. All right. So the big idea here was I wanted to keep everybody close together. Mastiff has got a bit more armor. I kind of want him to take point if at all possible. And in this case, because I can't see anything, I'm going to do a sprint, but I'm going to sprint him into the woods. It's important to remember all friendly units must survive, and while losing an arm isn't the end of the world for my mech, it does lower my my firepower. So okay. I don't feel really comfortable with this move, but it does give me some sight on the enemy, and it is a vehicle, so I should be able to take the thing out. Alright, so it's Galleon. Can't do called shots, sadly. So the real question is, do I actually want to take up all of this?
Nice job,
Nope, yeah,
kid.
that was
You were hostile on the board.
that was definitely overkill.
Enemy unit destroyed.
Now, one of the big things here is you'll notice that you can see when enemies are approaching, but you don't necessarily have the ability to fire on them. All right, so that was the thing I was kind of worrying about. So a really great thing that you can do, and this is where light mechs are very helpful, is that once you get eyes on opponents, you're actually able to do things like fire missiles at them. So Kameya's not going to be able to do a whole lot. In this case, I'm just going to group I'm going to kind of group everyone together. And of course, naturally, we'll smash a building because that's just what mechs can do. And again, I don't think these missiles are going to do a whole heck of a lot, but I've got plenty of ammo on it, so... Yeah. Ooh. I didn't want that on my blackjack, that's for sure.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
It's gonna go for him again.
Damage minimal.
Okay.
I've got your back.
I wonder if I sprint, am I able to... I was really hoping I'd be able to do like a... a stomp on him, but apparently not. Rambler, thank you very much for that host. Alright.
Moving out.
So I think I should be able to target more than... Yes, I can. Okay. So we'll multi-target the two here. So I'll throw everything else at the Scorpion, and then the AC-10 should be enough to take out the Striker.
Making me do that, son.
Yeah, that was definitely overkill.
You were brave, I'll give you that much.
Alright, so again, this this case, I don't really want to run ahead of anybody, so I'm just going to move up, and this will give me a chance to hit my guard, which will give me a little more stability, or brace.
You have my attention.
In this case, I'm actually going to reserve Kamea, because I think this thing is going to move up, so this is going to give me a chance to... Actually, it might have been smarter for my character if I hit him in reserve and waited for that thing to come up, but I'll take Kamea into round 2, and then she'll be able to take out this striker. Unfortunately, I do think the striker's going to get a free hit on... Okay, if it's Mastiff, he's got a fresh mech, so we're okay.
Standing by.
Now here I don't want her to use the LRM because that's not necessarily going to be as strong as a direct attack. So in this case, I'm fine. There aren't any other hostile contacts in the area. And in this case, let's take her, you know what, a pair of medium laser. Medium lasers and 1 SRM just in case something nasty happens. Okay. Only committing lasers from now on.
Vehicle destroyed.
So one of the important things here is that the contacts have been removed, but equally important is that the group's sort of all together. I don't necessarily want to have everybody sort of spread out.
Affirmative.
In case there happen to be other contacts that emerge.
Oh no. No. We're too late.
Okay. Again, Mastiff's in the freshest mech, so he'll take point. Kamea! Kamea, do you read me? It's Espinosa, your uncle. Do you hear me? House Espinosa is usurping the throne. It can't be. My uncle. Victoria! Kamea, I just watched an Espinosa battle mech plow through an alley full of civilians. This is happening, and it's happening now. Your loyalists have fallen back to the Market District. That's where they're making their stand. What's left of the Royal Guard is doing their best, but there's something wrong with their battle mechs. What's that sound? Oh God!
Alexander! I'll make it happen.
It's over, Kamea. Your ascendancy, the Arano legacy, all of it. Victoria, what have you done? You know, Kamea, for years I loved you like a sister. But then my father helped me see it. Your family's complacency, what it's done to the Reach. Our nation dwindles like a dying star, and House Arano is to blame. My father offered you a path to glory. I'd have fought under your banner proudly, served as your strong right hand. It was like a knife in my heart when you turned him away. Damn it, Victoria, I taught you better than this. You taught me lies. Kamea, for the love that I once bore of you, I'm going to give you a chance to surrender. I'll even spare the old man and his mech warrior if you stand down now. I don't want to see you hurt, but you cannot be allowed to rule. I'll see you hanged for this, Victoria. You and your father both, do you hear me? You are traitors to the Reach, and I will fight you to the last. Then you truly are a fool. I'll spare you in spite of yourself, but you've cost your royal escort their lives.
Attention, all Espinosa forces. This is Lady Victoria Espinosa.
Oh yeah, I should have done it.
Lady Arano is to be apprehended and taken alive by my command. Fail to follow these instructions, and you will have me to deal with.
I should have taken the Espinosa as a hint as to what the voice should be. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to get a melee strike in. What are we up against? So there's a cicada, a spider, and a locust. Okay, locust and spider are relatively harmless. So the question is, do I want to go hard on the cicada? Yeah, actually, I'm basically gonna get right up in its grill, and I'm gonna go. I'm basically just gonna go full bore, full alpha strike on. I wonder. Oh. Yeah, not worth it. Alright, everything but the LRM.
Firing. That was a critical hit, lad.
That's not too surprising. They're going
getting
for.
outmaneuvered.
Oof. Okay, that was a little harder than I thought it would be.
That shot did real damage.
So this guy's basically a melee mech now, unfortunately. I might have even lost this if he gets destroyed. No, it hit armor. Good.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, that was
A solid hit.
that was pretty stupid of me actually, but
Reading you loud and clear.
okay, so Kameya's got an easy answer for the spider.
I'll do what you ask. Going hand to hand.
Oh, is he getting the head? Yeah, that was really stupid of me to put Mastiff in that situation. We'll go for another physical attack because I can.
Engaging physical attack. Enemy mech destroyed. Incoming transmission.
Attention, citizens of Coromadir 6. This is Lord Santiago Espinosa. With the unanimous support of the founding houses, I have assumed control of the Oregon Coalition. For your own protection, I urge you to remain calm and stay indoors until otherwise instructed. All hostile units, stand down, and you have my oath that you will not be harmed. Resist, and you will be fired upon.
Oh, Jesus.
My father placed his faith in that man. I gave him my trust. He was family.
Well, this is a good angle.
Engaging physical attack.
Well, we destroyed it.
Enemy mech destroyed.
I indeed punched it in the face, Johnny Big Time.
You
That
have
was
my
that
attention.
was a good suggestion. And we're gonna do the exact same thing to the spider, and we're gonna punch it in the back,
I'm on
just
my
like
way.
it did to me. Kameya, do you read me? Alexander, thank the gods. I thought I'd lost you when the bombs fell. You very nearly did, Kameya. The city's lost. We have to get off this planet. We need to do it now. I can't abandon Coromadir. This is my home, my birthright. The battle's over, Kameya. Lord Medaria has the right of it. It's time for you to run. Escape from this madness and live to restore the Coalition another day. You're both right. My uncle is won. The Reach is his. We'll mourn for it later, the both of us. For now, you need to move. I have a dropship waiting at Shepherd's Pass. I'm on my way there right now. Hurry and meet me there, please. We're on our way.
You get to that ship, Alexander. I mean it. We will not lose you and my throne on the same day.
Okay, I'm gonna save here just because that really big blunder that I did with Mastiff might be something. If I lose any one of these characters, the mission's over, and I don't know if it does like checkpoints. Ah. Oh, okay, I guess I just don't get a choice.
Talk to me.
All right, let's see where these vehicles are. So again, as long as I'm, actually, you know what? Let's hold them in reserve. Let them come to us. You appreciate when they occur. Well, you know what? I thought it was a good suggestion anyway, Johnny. So that was a good suggestion you didn't give.
Moving out. Got a new contact on my screen.
All right. So Now, I'm potentially exposing him to a shot from whatever other vehicle is following up, but 2 medium lasers should be enough. I'm doing the second one just... Oh, come on. I'm slightly tempted to get her to just rocket the crap out of this thing. I can't have that much armor left, so... I'm gonna get her in a sneaky position behind the mountain, and the LRM should do the trick. If it doesn't, I'm gonna cry.
Target confirmed.
There we go.
Flagged a hostile vehicle.
So I'm gonna keep me in reserve, and that's just so that this thing can expose itself. Ah, yeah, it's one of these awful missile boats.
My armor's in bad shape.
Yeah, that's my bad there, Mastiff. I am not a skilled tactician. Now I think these missile boats are a little bit weaker. Let's take a quick look at what's going on here. So we're looking at 20. Yeah, it's super fragile on the inside. I just need to get through the armor, so we'll do the 2 higher accuracy lasers.
Engaging target.
So the reason why I'm not doing it like all at once is that I don't know if there's going to be a fight that comes up immediately afterwards. So if I'm overheating and there's another fight that comes up, that's a problem.
You've got my attention.
Okay, Mastiff definitely can stand to be in slightly more defensive positions. Let's sprint him forward.
Confirmed.
So his
Picking
legs
up another
exposed. Uh-oh. This is your last chance, cousin. Don't make me order your death. Do whatever you must, betrayer. Headstrong fool to the end. Damn you for this. Captain Houst, destroy them. Mastiff, my cousin, all of them. Leave no survivors.
As you command, my lady.
Oh, that guy's super evil. You're kidding me.
They punched through my defenses.
Alright, I am going to make him pay for that with a big ol' strike to the back. Ooh, and the music's getting all dramatic for it too. 35% on the... What's my P? Oh, we can afford it.
All weapons committed.
Yes!
Yes, I hear you.
Alright, so when this thing's knocked down, you get to do something special.
Confirmed.
So when it's knocked down, you get to do called shots. So we're going to take all our lasers. Actually, I'm going to do multi-target. So one of these, and we got a turret up there to worry about. So okay. Oh, but I don't get to target the leg. Okay, that's not worth it. So if I take out both legs, this thing's down for good. So we'll do... I mean, it's a 95% chance to hit, but it's got 35... it's got 35 structure left on it. So... I'm actually going to add another SRM volley to that. I can afford the heat, so...
Hostile unit down.
That looks like that was some structure that got hit.
Bastard breached my armor.
Okay, so I don't think I can afford...
Damned armor's busted.
Yeah, I don't think I can afford to have Mastiff taking too many shots anymore. I'm gonna move him to the right. We're gonna focus this thing down.
Talk to me.
And ideally, yeah, we'll get him into some cover.
Aye, aye.
Now it'd be great if I got him some stability, but in this case I need to take a offense is the best defense kind of approach, and it's got 90 armor, so in this case I'm basically opening up with everything.
Target destroyed.
Okay, so we have the initiative here. Kameya's actually in a pretty fresh mech, so in this case I'm going to get her to take point. She hasn't taken a single hit of damage, so we'll move her up. She should be able to take this thing down on her own, but I've got my main character to help out anyway. So again, oh, she's not in range, unfortunately, so we'll let her rip with the LRM-5 at least. So this, what am I looking at? I potentially am going to lose my left arm to this. There's a couple things I can do to mitigate that. So I'm going to give it a sidelong glance. So basically, and this is a pretty important tact. I don't know if I think the angles still don't quite work on this thing. But the best thing that you can do, especially if you're in a real-time game like MechWarrior Online, like you try, like this side is totally fresh. So in this case, I would be able to, you know, I'd basically be able to expose my my more armored side to them. I don't know if it's as precise in this game, but in this case, I didn't have enough range. So we'll do a little bit of damage to the laser turret. We'll see how it replies. It's still going after Mastiff, but he's also behind the he's still behind the woods or the forest, so 25% reduction to damage.
You've got my attention.
And if you thought that last one was satisfying, Johnny, of course I'm going to do the Alpha Strike.
Target destroyed.
Alright, so
Tell me what you need.
get the VIP to the extraction point first.
I'll do what you ask.
Fall in behind me.
Reading you loud and clear.
Thank the gods you made it, Kameya. Captain Halverson's prepping the engines now. In another 5 minutes, we'll be ready to depart. 5 minutes is a long time. System Chalk, you see Lady Orano to the docking ramp. When she's aboard, come back to me. We'll hold this pass against whatever comes.
Thank you, Sir Rashu. Thank you both. I won't forget what you've done for me today.
Alright,
I
so
promise you that.
Kameya goes here. All units, advance. I want you to take down that dropship. Destroy everyone and everything that stands in your way. Alright, System Chalk, I trained you for this. We'll fight side by side, watch each other's backs. Above all else, we will keep Lady Orano safe. Protect the dropship. It's all that matters. Warning, engine heat critical. Warning, error, shutdown initiated. Error, reactor offline. Weapons offline. Systems inoperable. Trouble with your blackjack, System Chalk? Shame. That's been happening to a lot of Royal Guard battle mechs lately. You have numbers on us and you've resorted to sabotage and you're gloating about it? You've got no honor, you vicious little brat. Not you or your backstabbing father. Shut your mouth, old man. My father is a great man, and I swear to all the gods you will suffer if you insult him again. Your father is a coward, and so are you. System Chalk, I want you to eject now. Punch out. You're no good to anybody in a broken mech, and I won't let you die today. Eject, Mech Warrior, now! That's an order! Now come for me, Victoria. Your teacher is waiting. Come now and show me what you've learned. 8 hours later, high orbit, Coromadir. Incidentally, for those of you curious about this game, currently on available on GOG.com with Harebrained Schemes' Resurrection of Shadowrun Returns. Alright. Easy there, Finn. You took a nasty crack on the head when you punched out. Don't worry, you're safe now. My name's Darius Oliveira. I'm the XO of Markham's Marauders. We're a mercenary outfit with ties to House Arano. We did some work for High Lord Tamati way back when. I'd introduce you to Commander Markham, but he was on a supply run in the Market District when the bombs fell. Well, he didn't make it. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, I am too. He was a good man. A lot of good people died today. We picked up your distress beacon on an emergency band as we were on our way off planet. After seeing what happened to Markham, we didn't feel right leaving you in the hands of this new directorate. We did a sweep of the combat site, grabbed your ejection pod, and ran. What about Mastiff, Sir Raju Montgomery? Did you find him? We found his mech. It was completely cored out. Nobody survives a hit like that. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. We supported the Royal Guard on a handful of deployments, and Sir Raju earned my respect many times over. His death is a loss for us all. Were you able to recover my blackjack? Yeah, our mech tech hauled out what's left of it into the mech bay. It isn't pretty, but if you give him enough time, Yang can fix just about anything. Try not to take the loss too hard. Yang said that your mech showed signs of deliberate sabotage. Whoever you had working on it really did a number on that reactor. Punching out was the right move. So what happens now? Well, things aren't looking hot around here, what with a coup and all. House Espinosa's directorate is the new de facto government of the Oregon Reach. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but Lady Arano is dead. Her dropship was destroyed on the takeoff. It's all over the news. And Mastiff died for nothing. He died doing his duty. From what I remember of the old man, that's exactly how he'd wanted to go. Speaking of going, we're getting the hell out of Oregon territory. We're heading to a nice quiet stretch of independent space all the way across the frontier on the Canopian border. Oh yes. As for you, well, you've got options. According to your blood shit, you've got family out in the Federated Suns. If you want, I could look into booking you a transport on a freighter bound for Davion space. I can't make any promises, but I'm willing to try. The Federation isn't my home, never has been. My family moved to the Reach before I was born. In that case, you could stay with us for the long haul. When we get to where we're going, we can drop you on the nearest planet. Maybe you can make a place for yourself there. Of course, you'll need to I'll need you to pitch in for your share of fuel, plus food, lodging, and repairs on your mech. Fair's fair, after all. Alternatively, you could find a place for yourself in the Marauders if you wanted to. Wouldn't take you long to work off your debt. You ran with Mastiffs, so I know you've got chops. Think it over. Sleep on it. You've had a hell of a day, and we've got a long road ahead. 3 years later, Ur-Karin, Rimworld Frontier. So that's kind of the tutorial mission. A lot of what this game actually is about is managing a mercenary company. So even here, we're not actually in the company management part yet, but we are going to be going on to a mission in just in a short while. You are very kind, Eyes of Sin.
Command interface initiated.
The Independent Prospectors League thanks you for your assistance, Commander. We're miners, not soldiers. We can't fight these bastards off on our own. That's what you're paying us for. Don't worry, we'll get your platforms back. This isn't just about reclaiming what's ours. Majesty Metals killed hundreds of us when they tried to jump our claim. We want you to make them bleed for what they've done here. Commander, the OP-4 is holding two of the IPL's mining platforms. The first, designated Alpha, is where they're keeping their turret generator. Move in fast, take it out. Those turrets hit hard, so you'll want to neutralize them ASAP. Platform Bravo is the site of Op4's corporate security tower. Engage and destroy it. If they bring in a mech to protect it, take it out too. Then circle on back and we'll collect our pay. That's right. I'm ready and willing to authorize the transfer. Now go on, Commander. Hit those corporate pigs where it hurts. We'll be watching the action from here. Your Lance's morale, blue bar next to your pilots, increases as you engage in combat. When it's half full, your pilots will be inspired, +1 accuracy to all attacks. I'm going to do a quick save. Alright, so... Deckers and Aspire. So there's a couple things that are important to remember here. You have different types of mechs. So in this case, Deckers in a Spider. There's the Blackjack,
on you, Commander.
The Vindicator,
Orders.
and a Shadowhawk. So it doesn't, unfortunately, I don't think it gives you a weight, but it does tell you here. So we've got medium mech, light mech, 3 mediums and a light. So light mechs generally are good scouting. They're generally good scouting mechs. They're generally, like they're good for recon duty. But you do potentially run into the problem where they can get hit hard. So the name of the game on this one is I want to get eyes on the turret generator, but I don't want my Spider to actually get hit. So I'm gonna take the long road with him.
Acknowledged.
As far as, so I also want to see who's got some range.
I hear ya.
I think I'm going to get the Vindicator to take the same path as the Spider.
I read you, Commander.
And
Moving
then these other two, we're going to take the road.
Acknowledged.
This is one of the things that really appeals to me. So there's two things that are really, I think, key to this take on Battletech. One of them is the fact, I mean, as you saw from that cinematic, right? Like, this is definitely more than just robots fighting. And I really like it for that. So incidentally, one thing I'm going to be doing here is I'm actually going to be going out the long way with this Spider. And that's just so I can get eyes on this turret generator without necessarily any bad guys seeing me. So, and so this looks like a good vantage point to attack from. So, oh crap! That's a turret.
Trespassing on Majesty metals and manufacturing property and acting in collusion with a domestic terrorist organization. Cease your advance immediately, or you will be fired upon.
I'm gonna hide behind
On
the wall
my way.
here. Okay, this is gonna get a little tricky.
Got it.
Yeah, so obviously it's more than just mechs punching, although that's a really satisfying element too. Okay, so it looks like there's a mech on the way. That's fine, as long as it's coming out to look for us, we'll be in good shape. I don't see anything on the radar, so I definitely want to avoid this tower. But again, the whole point of Spider is that it's a fast scouting unit. So as long as I can get some eyes on the generator, we can avoid the damage that the turrets will do to us, and we can wait for the mech to come towards us. But yeah, so there's obviously a story going on. There's, you know, it's a nice big space opera, betrayals, noble houses, all that. Okay, we got 2 mechs. This is unfortunately a fair fight, so. Okay, so that looks like the turrets can see me here. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like there's any way for me to... It doesn't look like there's any way for me to catch these things without...
Enemy detected.
Oh, God. What enemy did we detect? Oh no, we're still good. So... Oh, will brace. The tough question I have here is whether or not I want to continue on to this path to taking on the generator. Alternatively, I can jump up here and give my guy. You know what? I think I'm gonna do the jump.
Taking the high road.
And looks like I don't have anybody in range yet. Again, that's why scouting's pretty important. Although the good news is they also won't be able to see me, so we'll brace here.
Ready for orders.
And what do I do? I think we'll just get in a slightly better position here with the Shadowhawk. It's likely they're going to be able to get some shots off on us, but they're not going to have the advantage of the turrets. So.
I've been sensor locked.
Ooh, that's bad news.
They've got a lock on me.
Okay, that's going to complicate things a bit. They can potentially just sit back and launch these missiles at us. Now the good news is long-range missiles aren't going to do too much damage.
Commander?
Okay. I just want to get eyes on... I just want to get eyes on the generator. That's all I really need, so... Okay, so that's active. I'm not going to be able to do any damage to it. I think I'm going to have to get a little bit deeper. I didn't want to rush in though, because if there's like something waiting for me here and I go rushing in, I'm gonna be in trouble. But we can at least fire some rockets at it now. Okay, Commando's not too tough. That's a light mech, so... Ooh. Cheeky. Okay, looks like they're both committing to this, the guy with the PPC. I'd prefer my Shadowhawk to be taking up this damage, to be completely honest, but I think I can work with this, so... Okay, so I don't think my Blackjack's going to be able to do anything about the... I don't think my Blackjack's going to be able to do anything about the turret, so what we'll do is I'm going to get these guys from behind. Who's the squishier of the two? You know, these aren't really great odds, but I think we're just gonna... We'll do an alpha strike and hope everything goes... Yeah, not great. Okay, so I need to make some decisions now. I think in this case I'm actually gonna split the... I'm gonna split the effort.
On my way.
So, definitely want the LRM, and I think we're gonna take on the Commando. PPC is a pretty big power hogs or heat hog, so. We'll hit him with a small and medium laser. It probably won't be enough to take him out, but I definitely want to do some chip damage on the turret generator. Oh, actually, no, I can only use my rockets on the generator, so... This thing's tougher than I thought, so... I mean, that's okay on damage, but I'm definitely going to need more, so...
Yes, Commander.
Alright. Ooh. Alright, this is good news. So I don't need to worry about turrets. I am going to be able to do some pretty heavy damage on the turret generator though. Taking out the turret generator opens some possibilities for me. So that's got 84 damage. I can't do multiple strikes though. So what am I looking at here? I can do 45 damage and an LRM. So that's not going to be enough to take the thing out in one go. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to focus on taking a piece off the board. In this case, we'll skip the LRM, but I will hit it with everything else.
Engaging.
So we didn't do too much damage to the turret generator, but I positioned all my units at a point where they're not actually going to be able to do that much damage to me. So I'm probably going to get a round of missiles off.
Enemy sensor lock detected.
I've been sensor locked.
Oof. I don't know where that was coming from. Oh, it is the turrets that are doing those. Okay. Well, I knew I couldn't take it out on the round, so I still stand by the decision, but this is gonna hurt a bit. It's gonna hurt a lot.
Warning. Armor low.
Okay.
What's up, boss?
So Decker's in a bit of a bind. Wonder if jumping's gonna give me any of the other opportunities. All right. Yes, it will.
Acknowledge.
So, not targeted by any of the towers. I'm able to get 50 damage on the generator. Ooh. Nobody wants to get hit in the back.
Took a heavy hit there.
Okay, so don't actually need to worry about the...
Good to go.
Okay, this is not a bad... So I'm not able to do anything with the LRM, but that's fine because I'll be able to use another mech to take this thing out. So
Affirmative.
I'm going to turn Glitch around and get a physical attack on the spider. So nice thing is when you have a small laser, I think it's a small laser in the hand, you also get to fire that when you do a physical attack. Ooh, that's a lot of damage for a tiny little mech like that.
Minimal damage on that hit.
Oh, okay. If you insist. I saw 25, but... Okay, so I've got a little bit of a dilemma here. The question is, do I want to go after the commando, or do I want to go after the... I think I'm going to commit to the...
Roger.
The turret. So I'm going in close here. If I screw this up, you know, I need to dedicate another unit to finishing the job, but it's I'll add the LRMs to it just in case.
Firing on target.
But the autocannon should be enough.
One less target.
Great. So before we do anything, I am gonna get rid of the commando. It doesn't really matter how I do this, but I can call for a precision strike. I don't think that's really necessary though, so I think I'm just gonna vomit laser all over it. That should be enough.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Okay. So, the only draw... Oh, crap, I forgot about the spider. That was a big blunder on my part. Okay, that was only armor damage, so I'm still in good shape.
Yes, Commander.
Alright, so I want to sprint with Decker here because he's kind of out of position.
No
And
shooting,
ideally,
just running.
I'm going to be able to get him in position for scouting next round. You know what? Always remember the classics.
On my way. What's up, boss?
Let's drop the SRM. We'll just do the autocannon as well. There we go.
That's a kill.
All right, that's why I kind of wanted everybody.
Enemies detected.
That's why I wanted everybody to be in position. So, looks like everybody's down there. I think we're going to do the same trick with Decker, which is we're going to take the scenic route. I want to put him in the forest for now, just until we know what we're dealing with. And there's two things that let your lights live. One is their fast speed, and also intelligent movement. Right now they're creeping up with my back turned to them, but I think we're in good shape. So I'm gonna do something a little cheeky here, and this jump. So the nice thing about this is I can actually jump into a forest, and so I get vision on everything that I want from this position as well. So I get the high ground as well. So in this case, actually, Decker wasn't as necessary. This is a Shadowhawk, so it's mano a mano here. What is this? Scorpion? I'm not too worried about that, actually. So I think we'll... I mean, the two hits aren't great.
Copy that.
But I can do anything to just... Ooh, we got a head hit. Okay. Can I do the same trick? I can, but it's not a great shot on them. And if I move, I get a shot on both, but I also expose myself. But, I mean, if I can bring more firepower to bear on this Shadowhawk, that's probably for the best, so... Again, not great to hits. Well, you know what? We'll do a pair of medium lasers just in case. Oh, I forgot! Scorpions are... Oh, that was so stupid. Yeah, I really probably should be going for the... I really should be taking out the Shadowhawk. Okay. What can Glitch do? Not a lot. Can I jump to anywhere better? Sort of. Is it worth it? Not really.
Right, Commander.
I'm just gonna fire missiles at him. Mostly the aim of this is to try and unbalance this mech.
Right, Commander.
Okay, not a great round on my part, to be totally honest. So the real question here is whether or not I want to concern myself with... So I really feel like I can't go toe-to-toe with the Shadowhawk. Like any... Well, actually, so here's a possibility. The Shadow... So here's the dilemma that I bring to the Shadowhawk. It can try and put the hurt on my spider if it wants, but it does so by turning its back to the other two strong mechs on its way. So the real decision I have now is, do I fire 2 medium lasers at the... Yes, I do, because that might kill it. Yeah. As nice as it would be to get some shots on the
Enemy
Shadowhawk,
destroyed.
being able to take another piece off the board is always always good. So let's see what the Shadowhawk decides to do. Okay. What do I want to do here?
Receiving you.
I mean, I don't feel tired. This is a pretty good position for this guy to be in, because there's not really a way that I can get a shot from behind. But I can try a precision strike, so... center torso is where... Actually, you know what?
Firing full complement on him.
Seeing if I could get
That
a
hit
headshot.
something good.
It's such a risk to try this, but I do actually want to try and use some of this morale. Oh, it looks like the tank's gonna go for my my spider. Okay, evasion did its work. So I think I'm actually gonna try the same thing with my guy. I'm gonna get in close. But I think I'm actually going to try the called shot on the Shadowhawk. And again, we're just letting loose with everything because I've got the heat for it.
All weapons committed.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a very remote chance that those work, but
Critical damage.
on the chance that I can actually take out the cockpit, that's such a
Commander?
huge benefit. Alright, so big question here is whether or not I can get Glitch in a position where she can use more than rockets on this guy. I'm gonna have to jump if I do, and looks like... So none of them are great shots, but I do actually have a chance, and a PPC hits like a truck, so I'm gonna take it.
Fly.
I'm not gonna do a called shot on this, but actually... I don't have the morale for it anyway, but I mean, if I get a shot on the center torso with a PPC, that's game over. I mean, not bad.
Receiving you.
So I have a real dilemma here with Decker. Actually, it's not a dilemma at all. Taking out a Shadowhawk is much more important than taking out a tank. And I can put him in the forest, so...
On it.
Aw, damn it. Hey!
One less target.
Right, so the tank's gonna do something. If it shoots the spider, so be it. It's in sort of maximum. Ah. All right. Can I get revenge? Not with the melee attack that I want. I'm not quite sure how. I'll be honest with you, Freighter 5, I'm not 100% sure how salvage works in this game. I think there's just a certain amount of scrap that's set, and I don't know if the action of the game determines... how tough is this thing? Yeah, I want to commit these. I don't think I'm going to commit the LRM to it.
Engaging with target.
So I don't know if I don't know if the game takes into account the fact that I incapacitated the pilot. But you are actually able to turn scrap. What the f? That's not what I wanted. I wanted to destroy the tower. Fair enough. But yeah, even if you like totally destroy a mech in a super inefficient way,
Here we go.
you're still able to. Oh, that was easy.
Target
you're still able to get some scrap off of it.
Great job,
So far
Commander.
as I've seen.
Double back to our client's platform. The sooner we can collect our pay and break orbit, the better.
Okay.
Orders.
So again, this is going to be a chance to get everybody to sort of cluster together. So I'm going to, I'm not going to move too aggressively with the
Firing
Shadowhawk.
jump
I'm pretty sure Decker can, yeah, outrun everyone, so... Incidentally, so for those of you who've ever played MechWarrior Online, you know one of the biggest problems is when you have a bunch of light mechs, you know, they're supposed to be helping with the escort, but they never do, so all your heavies kind of wind up
Moving to position.
waiting behind a little bit like I'm doing right now.
Confirmed.
We're not quite as far away though, so I'm okay with this. It'd be nice if my mech was a little bit closer, but
Coordinates received.
Position confirmed.
On my way.
hurry up, System Shock, jeez.
Got it.
Brilliant work, Commander. We should have no trouble mopping up the other platforms now that their defenses are down. We got the job done. Speaking of which, I wasn't finished. These platforms won't do us much good if we can't hold them. Majesty Metals taught us that, so we're going to need your battle mechs. You're going to want to reconsider that. Why? Your lance has already been target locked by our turrets. Now power down and surrender, and we'll let you walk. Or try to fight, and we'll tear you to shreds. Your call. There goes our goddamn payday. Hold tight, Commander. We're on our way. Alright. That's no good. I've got... yeah, all my guys are down.
Good to go.
Okay, so they got turrets. I definitely need to get my... I wonder if there's a power generator for these things. Ugh. Yeah, so the power generator is like a big reinforced thing. I don't think it's here if it is. So I definitely want to get my spider out of the crossfire. Oh, I wonder if that's... So the thing is, I just don't think it's worth running back to check. I think we just man up and do the fight. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to avoid all the turrets, but I can, at the very least, I think I can take on the Scorpion.
Affirmative. Roger that.
Yeah, medium lasers are not really the thing I want to use against that.
They're coming around the side.
Okay,
Standing by.
that would be amazing if I would be able to just punch the shredder turret. I definitely want to move to be able to get a little bit of the evasion benefit. So let's take a quick look. Ugh, I don't like the way I'm exposed that way.
Acknowledged.
Okay, what's this thing got? 45 armor. Honestly, I don't think the tanks are my primary concern right now. Oh, he wants his revenge on this spider. Ooh. Okay, me. Oh! Alright, apparently I totally missed the turret generator, so... structure 100, so we've got... Well, you know what? We got an extra 50 damage just so I can say I did a good job of it. Alright, so Glitch gets a nice...
Waiting for orders.
Ah, and she gets multi-targeting. Okay, this is good. So I'm gonna get her in position to take on these two guys. And I believe she can divide her attention between two targets now. So you've got a strike... Ah, that thing needs to die right away. What has it got? It's like that thing has a PPC with its name on it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't like it, but I really want to dedicate to. I want to dedicate to. Well, hang on. If I make that an A, okay.
Roger that.
The PPC should be enough to take this thing out on its own. Yeah, but like, I definitely want the striker to be down. So. What do you think of this, Jess? I'm curious, because I would actually really like to see you play this. And you think the Scorpion looks small? Well, here's what the Scorpion thinks of you.
Targeting for physical attack. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Yeah, they're gonna go for a back shot. I just really like that they put the time into the story. Like, there's a ton of
Engaging physical attack.
By the way, I swear the only reason tanks are in this game are so you can stomp on them.
Enemy unit destroyed.
Like, if you go to a bookstore, you will see that there is a bunch of Battletech books. Like, it's a very well developed universe that they've made. So I just sort of like the fact that they acknowledge the existence of all of these stories and such. And I mean, like, the rule books for the game are full of short stories. So I just like the fact that they decided to tell a big, interesting story, as well as doing a pretty good strategy game. So, stand by for extraction, Commander. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh, and Darius? I know, Meyer, I know. You want another team meeting. Give the man a prize.
Mission successful.
Sorry guys, just need a second to tend to some details. Now I did get a late start today. I'm going to try and go for a full 3 hours if I can. But I don't know, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Alright, completed all objectives. We got no pay. Well done, Commander. You made the best of a bad situation. Here's hoping we don't run into another job like that one. So, normally at the end you get, like, reputation and loot and stuff like that, but... And here's the effect, so some damage to the center of the spider, some rather tough damage to the blackjack. Rent to own in orbit Ur-Kruin. You need to start finding us better clients, Darius. I mean it. We've been slumming it in the ass end of the frontier for 3 years now, and we are drowning in debt. I'm fully aware of our financial situation, Meyer, but you can't just conjure up new clients out of thin air. Finn, do me a solid and back me up on this. This is why you made me your commander, so I could break up fights and review financial reports? Damn right it is. It isn't like any of us wanted the job. Darius, could you walk us through the details of the trouble we're in? It might help if you broke things down point by point. Sure thing, Yang. Point 1, Meyer's right, we're in debt. Every C bill we make technically belongs to the bank. Point 2, this corner of the frontier is a dead zone for mercenary work. There are clients, but they're terrible. That's just a fact. And that's it, there are no other points. What's our best case scenario? How many jobs will it take to repay the loans? Truthfully, I can't even say. We're pretty deep in the hole, and from where I'm standing, I don't see a whole lot of daylight. Thing is, these banks, and I use the word loosely, they don't want us to pay off our loans. They'll do whatever they can to get away with, whatever they can get away with to keep us on the hook. Hit us with fees, jack up our interest rates, misfile our paperwork. I'm trying to think of find us a way out of this, but it's going to take time. And every day that passes, we accumulate more debt. If we keep going like we've been, we're screwed. Okay, so we're in a bad spot. What are we going to do about it? I don't see what else we can do, Finn. I'm already serving up every legitimate contract I can find. Unless you want me to sidestep the Mercenary Review Board entirely, we're basically out of options. Founded in 2789, the Mercenary Review Board, MRB, serves as an impartial broker of mercenary contracts. The MRB is overseen by Comstar, a communications giant that is famous for its neutrality. An essential component of the modern military culture, the MRB ensures that an even playing field between mercenary companies and their employers, and is quick to arbitrate any breach of contract. Go around the MRB? No thanks. Taking an uncertified job is a great way to wind up with a knife in your back. We just got betrayed on a board-certified contract, Yang. How much worse can it get? Plenty. What happened down there was an exception. Boss, with uncertified jobs, it's the rule. Remind me again why we don't just skip town and head to a nice corner of the periphery? Because the banks and the jump ship crews have an arrangement. Until we pay up, they're going to keep us on a short leash. That's a good reason. Look, Darius, Meyer's right. We need to start earning some real money, and we need to do it soon. It's only a matter of time before something breaks down that I can't fix with duct tape and good intentions. I had to work a few uncertified jobs after I was asked to leave my home system. It's risky, but it's better than going hungry. You hear that, Darius? The voice of experience speaks. Going around the MRB might kill us, sure. So might 1,000 other things, but I'd rather die trying than give up and accept the inevitable. It's settled then. I'll start digging for contracts outside the MRB system. Who knows? Maybe it'll work out for the best. It isn't like we've got all that much to lose. In the meantime, we need to find another paying job, and our prospects in this system have completely dried up. I'd recommend booking travel to a neighboring system and seeing what the review board has for us. With any luck, we'll find enough work to keep going until something better rolls in. The banks are holding our jump ship access hostage until we repay our debts. For now, we can only go between Ur-Kruin and the nearby systems of Alloway, Bellerophon, and Detroit. Our top priority right now needs to be finding work, so we can raise cash. None of the contracts here are very good. I picked out the only viable one that I could find, and it helpfully includes our travel fees as part of the deal. Come by the command center when you're ready to review it. Okay, so let's take a minute here and save. So this is, you can sort of see how this game, in addition to introducing the story's kind of gone on pause right now, but there's a little bit of an XCOM-ish element here. As you can see, there's sort of managing your mercenary company. One of the really things that was interesting about the tabletop game Battletech is the idea of sort of being able to build your own mechs and things like that. So we don't have access to a lot of that right now. It does sort of bring it up over time, but if you, because I mean, obviously, I really like XCOM. It's probably just as well to talk about each of these things. So this is kind of equivalent to the Geoscape, where you can hit play. Hiring hall, we can hire some more mechs, but we don't really want to raise any more expenses. Store, I mean, part of a Panther. I mean, so if we want a new mech, we've got a Panther. It's 35 tons, so it's a light mech. So the real question here would be, like, do I really want another light mech when I've already got a Spider? And I think I have a Locust in the default loadout as well. The other thing is, it says reputation 10% price increase. So presumably, if I want to be buying any equipment, I probably want to do that once my reputation's a little bit better. I have about 1 million C-bills in the bank, but the biggest thing here is that I don't have a really big reason for any of this stuff, right? I can buy it, but I mean, unless I'm running low on ammo or something like that, I don't really see any reason to buy this stuff. There might be an argument to sell some stuff, but we'll hold on to that for now. So, command center, where it told us to go. We can talk with Darius, or we can take a look at contracts. So we'll do some more story stuff. Always good to see you in ops, Finn. Something I can do for you? I want to know more about our debt situation. Yeah, sure, that's fair. I'm glad you're taking an interest. I've got time to get into the nuts and bolts of it if you do. What did you want to know? Remind me why we took out so many loans in the first place. How much time have you got? I mean, we've been hit by 1,000 expenses since we were forced to flee Cormadir, but I guess you're mostly interested in the big ticket items. First and foremost, there's the Leopard. We still owe a lot of money on this ship, and losing her isn't an option. Then you've got all the assorted fallout from an impromptu trip across the frontier. Jump ship passage, docking fees, miscellaneous travel expenses, all paid for on credit, as if we had a choice. There's more that I could get into, the loan that we took out to set up on Markham's family, etc., etc., but that'll be gilding the lily at this point. The fact is we're in a lot of trouble with a lot of lenders. But hey, we're mercenaries. We live for trouble. Who are we in debt to exactly? I want names. How about I give you the top 3? First, you've got Blue Horizon. That's a big commercial bank on Lyreton, a system in the Oregon frontier. Lyreton was formerly a Capalan garrison world, lost after the Second Succession War. The population of Lyreton is spread across the 3 tropical moons of the system's large gas giant. Each moon is independent, and civil conflict between moons takes place and makes the system a tense and dangerous place. They're the ones that own the lease on this ship. Then there's the Indri Consortium. They've got people everywhere, and they're based somewhere in Merrick space. We borrowed from one of their associates to make the jump away from Cormadir on the day of the coup. Finally, you've got Lockdown Lending. They're a frontier outfit from Haster. They're about as crooked as they come. Now, I won't normally do business with an outfit like the Double L, but we didn't have a choice. They made a deal with Blue Horizon to buy half our debt. So that's the big 3. A commercial bank, a shadowy financial consortium, and a bunch of leg breakers in cheap suits. And each of them is dangerous in their own way. It's enough money talk for now. Let me ask you about something else. Be my guest. What do you need? Got some questions about running the company. Sure thing, System Chalk. I'd be happy to help. Oh, neat. So it's all tutorials. Any general info you'd like to share? Things happen on a mercenary ship, Finn, all the time. You throw a bunch of mech jockeys in a confined space with technicians and a crew for months on end, you're going to see some spillover from the battlefield. And operating a merc outfit isn't a glamorous lifestyle. There are hard choices to be made on a regular basis. Anything from breaking up a fight over petty bullshit to dealing with faulty power couplings. Okay, I think I kind of understand these concepts, so that's enough instruction for one day. And got a few minutes to chat? I'd like to catch up. Yeah, sure, I've got time to talk. Before any of this got started, you worked with the Orano Royal Guard. Tell me about it. It was more than just a deployment. It was a full campaign. High Lord Tamati gave us the job back in 19. We were supposed to be assisting the Royal Guard to round up and eliminate a pirate clan on Fjaldir. Commander Markham thought it'd be easy money. It turned out to be anything but. We lost a dozen mech warriors in 3 months in the Fjaldir campaign. Had to hose them out of the cockpits. Would have been more if it wasn't for Siraju. He saved our people's asses on more than one occasion. Went out of his way to do it. And the thing is, he didn't have to. We weren't under his protection. We were the hired help. A lot of people in Mastiff's position would have used us as cannon fodder, but that wasn't his way. He treated us as if we were his own. He was a good man, Finn. As good as they come. Tell me a bit about yourself, Darius. Where are you from? I grew up on Nassau Heights. It's one of the HAB stations orbiting R2. 30 decks of economic stratification, with the corporate suits on the upper decks and everyone else crammed into the lower ones. My old man was a dockhand. We lived on deck 28, 2 levels up from the bottom, with the other station maintenance personnel. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, my dad would load and unload cargo shuttles. Vacuum-sealed Quillar, nutrient paste for people like us, and luxury goods for the suits upstairs. The old man must have unloaded 1,000 crates of Cassildan eel roe, plump, succulent eggs the size of melon balls. Never got to taste any, though. Any one of those tins would have cost him half a year's wages. Anyway, Finn, I don't want to saddle you with my life story. Suffice to say that I got an eyeful of what I didn't want to be on Nassau Heights, and I did what I had to do to change my circumstances. By the age of 16, I struck out on my own. I left that station with a handful of skills, an enormous web of contacts, and a rucksack full of that expensive caviar. And once I made it off Nassau Heights, I never ever looked back. Gotta run, Darius.
Catch you later, Commander.
All right. I'm a little tempted to go into some of these other areas, but in this case it did tell me to go to the contract, so we'll see if the game sort of unlocks these as time goes by. So we've got middle management. Our intelligence operatives believe that a Canopan leader is present and vulnerable on the surface of Bellerophon. Eliminating them will leave their organization in shambles and clear the field for local government operations. The target will be relatively unguarded, and we'd like you to strike during this window of opportunity. Sounds like we'll be hitting the middle manager. The target won't be alone. Sumpter B. Thank you very much for the follow. Sounds like we'll be hitting a middle manager. Target won't be alone, Commander, but there's a bonus if we clean up the escorting units as well. Still, if things get too hot, we can always hit and run. Okay. So let's negotiate the contract. So, we've heard you're a competent mercenary. We've been having some trouble lately, and if you could resolve it for us, we'd ensure you're paid well. If not, so be it. So our maximum pay is 168,300, but we don't get our choice of scrap. So I'd kind of like payment that's over 100k. So in this case, I'm willing to give up a bit of scrap. I don't think I get my choice of scrap. Well, you know what? Honestly, 18,000. So if I go to the store, I just kind of want to see what 18,000 can buy me. It's like AC2 ammo. Yeah, so the reasoning here is that if I go for the extra cash, it's like I'm totally okay doing this because this is like a difference of 40k. But if I do this, like this is about 18,000. You saw that doesn't buy me a whole lot. Like the extra 1 salvage that I get, unless it's some ammo, that's, you know, I'm ahead of the game there. Now it's obviously, it's not my choice of what I get, so I could get something that I don't care for. But I don't know. I'm okay with this. Oh, actually, there is one thing I want to try with the mech bay. Yes, we can repair everyone. So 4 and 8 days. I think we'll be. Yeah, I think we'll be in good shape.
You need some work done, Commander?
I'll do a chat with Yang as well. Hey, boss. Welcome to the mech bay. My own little piece of heaven right here on this ship. Something I can help you with? I want an assessment of the Leopard. How much trouble are we in? I don't know. I mean, we're doing okay for the moment. Give it a few months, maybe a year. You know how it goes. Eventually everything falls apart. Maybe our drive system will give out. Maybe some debris will perforate the hull. Who knows? But on that day, we're going to need to be able to cover our repair costs. And if we can't, well, that'll be that. Got a few questions about the mech bay. Yeah, then hit me with them. I'll do what I can to answer. I mean, I don't want to wax poetic or nothing, but the mech bay is where the magic happens, boss. It's the beating heart of a mercenary outfit. Alright. I think I kind of know these things, but I am going to go through this tutorial, so... Anything I should know about the mech bays themselves? Beyond each cubicle holding one battle mech? Not much. It's all about capacity. The more mech bays we have, the more mechs we can keep battle ready. And the more mechs we have battle ready, the more flexibility you'll have in your deployment options. Let's say you had 2 blackjacks, for example. Decent medium mech for sure. I know your family gave you yours. One could be loaded out with lots of energy weapons for use in colder environments where they can bleed heat quickly. The other identical blackjack could be loaded out with ballistic weapons that require ammo but generate less heat. Smart for deploying in warmer climates or in a vacuum where heat dissipation is slower. Why use mech storage? Few reasons. First, we have limited capacity in the mech bay, so we need to store overstock for eventual sale for use in the future. Second, we don't pay upkeep costs on mechs and storage. That's a business thing, though, not my department. Third, and most important, whenever we pick up partial mech salvage from the battlefield, I put it in storage for you. If we gather or buy enough partial mech salvage to complete a battle mech chassis, my team will assemble it right away. You let me know if you want to keep it in storage or have it ready for combat. Battle mechs are expensive as hell, so assembling one out of salvage is our best bet for expanding our roster. What happens when a mech goes into or gets readied from storage? When you send a mech chassis into storage, our mech techs dismount all its weapons and equipment and place them in your inventory for use in other chassis. A chassis can stay in storage indefinitely. Don't worry about storage capacity, boss. I'll make it fit. Don't you worry. Now, getting a stored battle mech ready for combat drop is a different animal. My techs will need a couple of days to bring an empty chassis up from storage. Once the chassis is back in the mech bay, you'll need to select its loadout from our equipment inventory so we can start a refit. The time and cost of a refit is dependent on the type and amount of equipment that you choose. So basically the idea here is that you don't see these mechs as fixed items. You see them as sort of platforms for your other You see them as platforms for, like, your weapons of war, basically. Mech components. I've been wondering about the components you can put on our mechs. One of my favorite topics in the mech bay. You can browse all the equipment we have available in the inventory. There are two types of components I can install on a battle mech. Weapons and equipment. You know what? I think I'm good. How to repair a mech's damage after battle. Whenever you return from a mission, stop by the mech bay here and tell me which mechs you want to have repaired. I'm not going to assume anything. You run this outfit, so you tell me what you want to spend time and money on. Okay, that's not completely true. If I see armor missing from a battle mech, I'm going to repair it automatically. It's standard operating procedure, and we have so much scrap armor lying around that you should consider the armor repairs to be free. Now, if you tell me to repair a mech containing destroyed equipment, the techs will strip that off automatically too. I'll list the equipment that they strip, but you're going to want to replace it with something. Anyway, like I was saying, armor repairs are free. Internal structure, on the other hand, takes time and C-bills to fix. If a mech structure is damaged or missing, I'll flag it for you in orange. Just order the repair and confirm the time and cost, and I'll get it in our work queue, which is what we did already here. Let's do... You seem to know your way around the battlefield, Yang. Any advice? Sure. The better you lead in combat, the less work I have to do when it's over. Let's talk about mech to stability. Yeah, stability is a smart thing for a commander to understand, boss. Getting pummeled by weapon fire is a good way for a mech to become destabilized. Walking over rough terrain doesn't help much either. Destabilized mechs can't sprint in combat. They're vulnerable to falling if hit hard enough while in that state. Tell me how to make them less vulnerable. There are a few ways I can think of. Evasion, cover, and bracing. Let's hear about evasion. The short form version is this. The further a unit goes, the more evasive it becomes. Shooting a moving target is hard, and shooting a faster target is harder. When you order a mech to move in combat, note the number of angled chevrons your command software assigns it. The more chevrons that are displayed, the harder it'll be to hit. Same for the enemy. Sensor locking an enemy removes 2 of its evasion chevrons and makes it easier to hit. Same goes for your unit, so be careful. Cover. Battle mechs are kind of big, aren't they? Yep, they're big, scary, and dangerous, and they're harder to hit standing in forests and other terrain features. Standing behind buildings or hills is good too. If the enemy can't see you, they're going to have a hard time hitting you. It's all about line of sight. Think about it. Think about it all the time. Your enemy is, I guarantee it. If they see you, a little red eyeball will appear above them in your command software. Mastiff taught me to brace my mech, but that doesn't make it harder to hit. Nope, bracing your mech won't make it harder to hit, but it should buffer some of the damage you'll take by half or so. So think about it, eh? Alright. I think I'm good with that. And yeah, we can change loadouts, but I think that's fairly apparent how that works. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you wind up with the crew? It's a long story, boss. Shortest version I can give you? I signed on after I served my term in the Third Succession War, fighting for the Capellan Confederation. If you want to know more, you can ask me what you want. Otherwise, let's get back to talking shop. Where are you from originally? Bryant, in the Confederation. You may have heard of our claim to fame, the Crowley lizard cow. No? Well, trust me, they're delicious. an edible reptile indigenous to the planet Bryant. The meat of the Crowley lizard cow is considered a delicacy and is one of Bryant's few planetary exports. Anyway, the story goes, Bryant was a really nice place once. A tourist spot, big with hikers and fishing enthusiasts. Pale blue skies, emerald green seas, and a booming agricultural business. You know, the works. I never knew it that way, though. Stefan Amaris got to it a couple of centuries before I was born, and that was that. Stefan Amaris, the usurper, born 2717, died 2779. As president of the Rimworld's Republic, Stefan Amaris expanded the Republican army and placed the Republican agents in key positions throughout the Star League. He fostered a close relationship with Richard Cameron, while the First Lord was in his minority. When Cameron came of age, Aramis guided him towards policies that would move Alexander Kerensky's Star League Defense Force away from Terra and place Republican forces there instead. With these preparations in place, Stefan Aramis murdered Richard Cameron on December 27th, 2766, and declared himself First Lord, beginning the Amaris Civil War. Kerensky raised the Rimworld's Republic and returned to Terra to defeat Amaris's forces and capture him. Stefan Amaris was executed by firing squad in 2779. His remains were donated to the medical school of the University of New Samarkand. As the story goes, Bryant used to have these enormous orbital mirrors, storm inhibitors they call them. The Star League put them in place. When Amaris took the system in his civil war, he had his troops use them for target practice. Without those mirrors, Bryant reverted to its natural state, a miserable little ball of wind-blown dirt, actively hostile to human life. By the time I came along, the only place where people could live in relative safety were the planet's poles. Of course, if you can't fit a planet's entire population into a handful of cities at its poles, there isn't enough space, no matter how far you dig down or how tall you build. A lot of people, mostly the poor, died in the early days. There's still a lot of overcrowding in Bryant cities, even now. That's my childhood home in a nutshell. Way too many people jammed into a tiny claustrophobic space, and nowhere to go but off-planet. I cleared out of there as fast as I could and never looked back. Gotta admit, though, I do miss the taste of lizard cow. Tell me about your time in the military. Who did you serve with? The 2nd St. Ives Lancers, 1st Battalion under Major Ling. I saw more action than most. The arm is a souvenir of my time in the service. I lost the original back in 3010 on St. Louis. You know, when we first arrived in St. Louis, I loved the place. It's an agricultural world, a sort of breadbasket for the neighboring systems. Green fields, rolling hills, you get the picture. We just walked out of hell on Kittery, and the Fed rats drove us out in 05 with our tails between our legs, so it looked like paradise to us. I remember kicking back in the mech bay, my feet propped up on an engine block, sipping on a snifter of ambergast vermouth. Not a bad way to spend a sunny afternoon. Anyway, it turned out the Federated Sons weren't done with us yet. We were barely a month into our deployment when they sent the SETI Hussars to burn us out. I'm sure there were sound strategic reasons for House Damion to want St. Louis, but it sure felt personal to me. Long story short, one of our scouts managed to slip through our perimeter and hit my mech bay. I was tinkering around in a Centurion's custom-made rumble seat at the time. Being surrounded by all that armor is the only reason I made it out alive. Still, I didn't get out unscathed. I lost 2 of my favorite assistants and my own right arm. I've still got this ugly thing grafted to me as a reminder. And yet here I am, doing mercenary work for a living. Some people never learn, huh? Why'd you leave the Capellan Confederation? After my tour of duty was what was up, you mean? I don't know. It was just time for a change. Besides, the place wasn't really for me anymore. In a way, it never really was. I learned a lot from my time in the service, got a first-hand view of the elitist bullshit that saturates Capellan culture, how it regards high-born idiots at the common people's expense. Speaking as a thoroughly common man, that didn't sit right with me. When my tour was over, I walked away and never looked back. For what it's worth, I'm glad you walked away. You brought my mech back from the brink more than once. Way more than once, if memory serves. Still, I appreciate the kind words. And for what it's worth, I'm happy to be here, with this crew. Going career military would have been an enormous mistake. Your position, I probably would have done the same. Let's talk about something else.
Talk to you later.
I realized, because Jess is here, she knows I'm not doing as good of a job with the voices as I did during Shadowrun, so I should probably Should probably work on maybe doing a little bit more obvious personalities for these guys. But anyways, we'll go for a few more sea bills, but we'll make sure that we get some scrap.
Course plotted.
Engines prime. All hands prepare for transition to thrust gravity.
So we're on our way to the jump ship. So we've got a few repair. Basically, you kind of want to use every part of the Buffalo here. So in this case, I'm just doing the repairs while we're on our way to our new job. It'll take me 2 days to repair the Spider, and from there, we'll still be on our way to the system. So it's all good. I wonder if your hard drive gets scrambled on that magnet. Shakedown. You're on the Lippers Bridge with Sumri, Yang, and Darius for the daily staff briefing. Darius says, "We've received 3 messages from the banks. Loan sharks," Sumri cuts in. Well, the problem is I don't have like Ractor or anybody like that. They're all kind of normal people, so I try to put like different intonation on certain words, but I don't quite have personalities for them yet. From the people who are financing us, Darius continues, they're considering rewriting the terms of our loan, so it'll be easier to seize the ship if we miss a payment. As usual, they're only doing this because we believe we can't fight it in court. Educate the banks about their mistake. I'll deal with it, you say. Later you record a response. In it, you sternly remind your lien holders that as financial institutions operating on Detroit 3, they must abide by local contract law. You even cite the relevant sections of legal code from memory. Then you point out that as you've kept records of all payments and correspondence concerning the loans, you'll be able to demonstrate in court that their proposed revisions to the agreed-upon terms would represent such a gross violation of the law that you would undoubtedly be awarded the second dropship at the bank's expense. Once the camera's off, Sumri says, "There's no way they push you on this. Too bad. I like to see loan sharks grovel. My company has now gained the following tags. Loan status fair. The company's credit is currently rated as fair by the banks financing the Leopard, which should at least deter them from sending bounty hunters after you." Let's do this! This will probably be the last mission tonight. We've arrived at Bellerophon, Commander. Ready to proceed with the current contract? Proceed! Alright, so, we've got 5 mech warriors, but there's only 4 people to a lance. So, it is an assassination mission, so I do want to have at least 1 light one. Oh god, I hate machine gun. 15 damage with a machine gun, like no heat. Machine guns deal very little damage, but have severely limited range, dependent on volatile ammunition stores. However, they have greatly increased chance to cause criticals when they impact the target that has been stripped of armor. I think I'm gonna redo this. I think I'm gonna redo this Locust. I really don't like the circumstances under which I can get a Locust in close enough to strip something with the armor off. I just prefer to throw a bunch of lasers at it, to be completely honest. So yeah, I mean the Spider here's got jump jets. It's got fast movement. Apparently this has better firepower. Oh, it's because of the medium laser. Well, no, this has 2 medium lasers. Yeah, I prefer. I actually don't like the Spider that much in like the board game, but when I play MechWarrior Online, I actually prefer my Locust. But I don't build my Locust that way. So I think it's just going to be Shadowhawk, Blackjack, Vindicator. So. So I definitely want to bring my guy in. So he's really. I kind of feel like he should be in the Blackjack because of the... Yeah. It's got the most shooty. You know, I think I'm just going to go for the old... So we've got a crack shot with glitch. And... See, getting guarded when remaining stationed. Yeah, okay, so technically my Shadowhawk should be... What's got the highest durability out of curiosity, so... Okay. I'd like Decker to be reasonably good at piloting, and that's just to make sure that he can kind of run through things. But anyways, Medusa's off for this round. Okay, destroy the target and escape. Our intelligence operatives believe that a Canopian leader is present and vulnerable on the surface of Bellerophon. Eliminating them will leave their organization in shambles and clear the field for local government operations. The target will be relatively unguarded, and we'd like you to strike during this window of opportunity. Sounds like we'll be hitting a middle manager. The target won't be a lone commander. There's a bonus if we clean up the escorting units as well. Still, if things get too hot, we can always hit and run. So the trick here is that I want only armor damage when pursuing this bonus. Commander, our intel was right. The target is in the AO and is only lightly guarded. We've been seeing a lot of Canopian activity nearby, and that's probably our target. Take them out, get to the evac zone, and we get paid. Okay. So... the obvious path is to follow the road up to... here. And the catch is I don't think we have a lot... Oh my god, this game is so beautiful. I actually don't think we have a whole lot of other options. So, as usual,
Commander?
Decker will be my scout.
On my way.
You know, the funny thing, Eyes of Sin, is when I play MechWarrior Online, I'm usually a light.
I hear ya.
And I especially like being a complete pain in the ass for, especially like being a big pain in the ass for anybody who, like, large... one of my favorite moments is just getting in behind large assault mechs that are left unattended and just ripping apart their armor in the back. Okay, so the drawback is if they have any protection up here, I'm in trouble. In fact, to a point that I might... So I'm gonna sprint up here. I think I'm actually gonna use jump jets. Uh-oh.
Hostile on sensors.
Oh, that's gonna be...
New bogey. Let's turn him into salvage.
I'm gonna be banking on... Yeah, I'm gonna be banking on a lot of evasion here.
What's up, boss?
Alright.
On my way.
Honestly, I think we just need to...
Waiting for orders.
We need to
You betcha.
push hard. We'll see what happens on the next one. Okay, it's a Locust. It's still going to do some damage to this guy, though, which I don't like. Thank God for that. Okay,
Ready for orders.
so big question here is whether or not I can get Decker into a good position to cause some trouble for these guys. The answer is probably no. So what's my alternative? Well, I can melee the thing. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a shot with this.
Confirmed.
My reasoning is that the other mech over to the side there is almost certainly going to be... Nice. So the rationale here is this guy's almost certainly going to be taking the guys down on the lower ground, and if he isn't, then so much the better for my guys. Yeah, so sort of as predicted.
Light damage. Holding firm.
Now, counterintuitively, I'm actually going to reserve these guys because I want to see what happens with this vehicle. And then I can, basically then what I'm going to be able to do is deploy my guys as I see fit to deal with both the Firestarter, the Locust, and see what this vehicle is going to do. The vehicle's going to do damage to my units anyway, but I'm going to be able to make an informed decision about how dangerous I think this thing is. Okay, it's a galleon, so it does lasers, but... Oh. Wait, is galleon a missile boat? Nope, so... Yeah, they've got eyes on me, that's no good.
Good to go.
Okay. So the real question is, how do I want to deal with my Shadowhawk? You know what? It's the tank, so I think I'm going to dedicate everything to taking on this Firestarter. So, what's its armor looking like? So if I can do 50, or yeah, it's not really good odds. You know what? I'm just going to do a good old-fashioned Alpha Strike. Actually, I don't like the LRMs. You know what? That's not worth it. I think I'm just going to take out the galleon here. Medium laser will probably be enough, but I'd like some backup to, on this.
Copy that.
So now I get my two other guys get to focus on the Firestarter. Should actually maybe take a look at what the ooh, that's a shame. Okay, that could have been a lot worse.
Light damage. Holding firm.
Okay, I'm gonna need to think a little bit about this. Let's see what I can do. Okay, I think I'm gonna focus on the Firestarter. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do precision strikes, unfortunately. Yeah, those aren't worth it, so I'll just do an Alpha Strike. We'll see what we can get out of it.
All weapons committed.
Not great.
Waiting on you, Commander.
But Glitch gets multiple shots, so we'll keep her. So we're gonna multi-target. Okay, it's going to be a PPC and a medium laser. The PPC should be enough to take this thing out, depending where it hits. And the main point of the LRM is just kind of hoping for a lucky shot on the Locust. There's not a lot that we're going to be able to do this with the Striker, but if we're able to take out the Locust, then the Spider's going to be able to deal with the Striker here. So what I'm trying to do is just minimize the damage that actually the LRM is not going to be able to do what I want it to do. But that's fine. We'll work with it anyway. I'm sticking with this. If we can get rid of the Firestarter, so much the better, because then I'm going to be able to turn my guys to focus on the Locust and the Striker.
Uh-huh.
Not great. Okay, so... Of course he's going to shoot me in the back. Oh, no, he's not. Ha! Suck it! Okay, so
Good to go.
I'm going to go for another punch, but I'm going to angle myself in such a way that the... Actually, hang on. I'm not, because that thing's already done its task, so I'm able to take out the Striker.
On my way. Ugh! 'Cause 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 ' Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Again, if I can keep my damage reduced to armor, so much the better.
Damn it! I'm wounded.
Okay, that's not going to be good. So Behemoth, when you actually take physical damage in this game, there's actually some consequences for that. What are we looking at on the? It's pretty much messed up everywhere. I kind of want to take it. I kind of want to take it from behind, but nah. If I take it from this angle, this is best.
Acknowledged.
Not exactly what I wanted, but it'll also help it with the heat. But anyways, that thing's down because of pilot getting incapacitated.
Losing lots of armor.
Please don't. That's what you're looking like. Left arm. Okay.
Good to go.
So here we want to try and take out this.
Tell me twice.
Want to try and take out this locust if we can. I'm already at 100% morale, so it makes sense to do a precision strike. Honestly, I'm just gonna drill straight into the center.
Got it.
The PPC should be enough to take it out. Yep. Again, I probably didn't need to do all of that, but
Stay down.
called shots are a little tough. And I don't have a lot of demand on scrap, so. Okay.
Receiving you.
As usual, Decker is my scout. We know that the target's up here. I've got some decent cover here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump him into position here.
Roger that.
Maka, thank you very much for the 200 bits. How you doing? Okay, so this is some good information here. I want to make sure that my spider's in some safety because the rest of my team needs to get in place. But that's why God invented sprinting or jump jets. Well, not quite far enough, so we will sprint.
On my way.
Can I jump? Not quite far enough, so.
Moving out.
Yeah, I mean, XCOM. I think XCOM's inspired a lot of games, and obviously the success of the Firaxis one has allowed people. I'm gonna reserve Decker. It'd be great to know what this guy's move is, knowing that that this is here. Again, the other thing that's great is if I can get my team behind this hill. I mean, they're still going to be able to see me on sensor, but I basically can get a bunch of people to jump jet over. And if this guy commits hard to take out this spider, then I'm going to be able to get the drop on them. So we'll see what Decker does. Okay, another Shadowhawk.
Minimal damage on that hit.
Good. Still need to decide what Decker's gonna do, but we can. The good news is we can still work on this. So jump. Jump's not actually gonna get me. Well, no, it's gonna get me something.
Engaging jump jet.
I actually think this is worth it. So again, I'm basically going for a full alpha strike, even though that they're behind cover.
Affirmative.
Our primary target is taking damage.
What can I do for you?
Okay, I don't think the Vindicator's gonna quite have the same luck. Oh, nope, they're gonna be able to do that too. So again, it'd be nice to do like called shots and stuff like that, but in this case, again, I'm just gonna go for the Alpha Strike. Maybe we'll avoid the LRM-5.
Roger that. Firing on target.
PPCs do a ton of damage, so it's something that I want to even take the chance on if I can. And in this case, I don't think the jump is going to be able to help me. Nope, so I'm going to be late to this fight, but that does give me an opportunity to go around the side. And now we'll see whether or not I can do anything fancy with the spider. I don't think I will, but it does make a hell of a lot of sense to make sure that the spider is constantly in motion. Okay, now that doesn't count as being in a shot. I mean, if I'm particularly bold, I can go for a physical attack, but that's madness. So 4 Chiron move. Can I get a 4 Chiron move? Yes, I can. So I run the risk of this guy putting some very serious hurt on me.
I copy.
In the form of physical attack. But if I can get a good, precision shot on them. What are we looking at here? 115 armor. Yeah, I don't actually think this is worth it, but let's go for the... I'm gonna go for the weak spot.
Confirmed.
Actually, going for the leg would have been the better hit, but that turns out to be where it was. So, excellent. And I also get another move. So, this works really well for me. So I can also get a couple of sneaky shots into the back armor. Alright, so what are we looking at? 30 armor, 40 armor. Now, you know what? I think we just leg this thing. Oh, nope. Can't do that. Alright, well, we'll still go for the right torso.
Firing. Full complement on enemy.
Okay, we'll see if that pays off. And the rest of my team is available, so who's got the best armor? Actually, you know,
Waiting for orders.
I kind of need the Shadow Hawk on this, so...
Aye, aye. Copy that. I hear ya.
This is actually an interesting...
Got it.
So this guy's running a bit hot. But this is also a chance to... So I kind of screwed myself with that PPC, unfortunately. But I really do want to see if I can knock this thing down.
Tell me what to shoot.
Yeah, that's not surprising that didn't hit. I don't think that was worth it, to be completely honest. Okay, not a great opportunity, but we'll see what I can do. I think I kind of screwed this up, to be totally honest, but we'll see what this gets me. Yeah, just a bunch of armor damage. So I might be paying for this in the form of repairs. We'll see what he does.
Light damage.
Okay,
Holding firm.
not bad. So I think this Shadowhawk should be able to do some. I think this Shadowhawk should be able to do some damage. Physically. So I want to get those 4 Chirons. If I'm this close, they're still going to be able to physically.
On it.
They're still going to be able to like punch me. So we'll get in close. We'll keep the spider just constantly doing damage to the back. I'm not going to focus fire or anything like that.
All weapons are go.
Okay, some good structural damage. Beautiful.
Tango down.
All targets eliminated. Sit tight and I can collect you from where you are right now.
Mission successful.
Happened at exactly the 3-hour mark, because I'm a professional caster. And I think we avoided any structural damage, so this should be a good payday for us, and we'll find out how the scrap works, because in theory we would get quite a bit. I mean, we don't have a claim to any of it, but we'll see what's in the stack. Okay, so we destroyed the supporting forces. The funny thing is that the supporting forces were actually, they're almost like required to destroy. And there's no scrap, it looks like. So, middle management, planetary government for the magistracy of, magistracy? Why can't I say that word? Of Canopus. Well done, Commander. We obviously placed our faith in the right mercenary company. We'll let you know if we have any other work for you. We got 162,562, and payout slightly improved with the mercenary review board. Apparently we didn't have any change with these two factions, and I think morale is unchanged. Okay, so Behemoth is down 20 days because of the injury they took. We're good for experience. And Medusa can replace Behemoth for 20 days if it comes down to it. Ah, cool. So it does assign salvage. So it looks like there was Firestarter scrap and Shadowhawk scrap. Yeah. So my 0 priority actually wound up to be a pretty costly decision there. We did get a flamer. I personally don't use these very much. Medium laser. That's not bad because I usually want replacements SRM2. So I mean it's not the end of the world, and I would have had to give up a lot of money. Having another Shadowhawk would be kind of nice, but I don't know. I think it was the right call to go for it. I can sell off the flamer, and I would still be making more money than if I took the extra cash. Okay. I think that's it. I happen to know there might be a twist that's coming up, but I will leave that to another... I think I'll leave that to another cast. From what I understand, the campaign is supposed to be pretty well... I think the campaign's supposed to be pretty well... pretty fleshed out, so I have a feeling that this is going to be a game that... I have a feeling this is going to be a game that we stick with for a while. I certainly really enjoyed it. Again, it is available for sale, so if you want to pick it up, I will let you know that you can get it through GOG. There's 2 reasons to get it through GOG. There's the DRM free factor. Also, if you pay in local currency like I do, I tend to find it's a little bit better. I've been running into a lot of... I like it quite a bit, Echobaz. I'm not too far into the campaign, but I mean, there's 2 things that I really like about it. So as far as the tabletop experience is concerned, I think they did a very good job of capturing the... And they did a very good job of capturing the sort of the... So they took the mechanics of the tabletop game, they didn't slavishly follow them. They took what made sense and made it feel like tabletop Battletech without just sort of saying, it's like, okay, we're going to digitize a bunch of the rules and nuts to the new players who don't care, who don't care about that. But one thing I particularly like about this campaign is they actually, I mean, so it's obviously it's harebrained schemes. So, I mean, Jordan Weissman kind of helped kind of made the world. But it's a game that sort of acknowledges that there is a lot of Battletech fiction that's been written, and like a TV show and a VR center and things like that. And the story is actually very well written. There's good cinematics. Like, it's more than just mechs just hitting each other. It's really fun for that element, and if you only care about that, there's a very good skirmish mode and obviously multiplayer and stuff like that. But yeah, so if you care about the dialogue, like, the writing of the game is quite good, and I think Eyes of Sin and Jesse Quill were commenting on that earlier. So as much as I would like to take credit for the high quality, I mean, it's the same company, and I'm assuming they didn't bench the writing team because it was Battletech. I think they did a really good job of making sure that this was a world to care about, and people have their own motivations. I do recommend, by the way, Echo Baz, if you do pick this up, do take the time to talk to the characters in like the mech bay and navigation and things like that. I think you'll enjoy that quite a bit, and it's not unlike you know, if you played Dragonfall or Hong Kong, it's not unlike going to like Gaiku or Ractor or Iger's quarters and having a heart-to-heart with them. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Far be it from me not to, you know, not to take the opportunity to whore myself out. So I will say, if you get it through GOG, it is DRM free. I always run into local currency problems with Steam, which is why I tend to prefer getting stuff through them. But Echo Baz was talking about how much he liked the writing for. Sorry, I did assume a he, but Echo Baz was talking about how much they enjoyed the writing of Shadowrun Returns. If you have not played Shadowrun Returns and you don't own it, if you buy it Battletech on GOG, you will get a free copy of Shadowrun Returns as well. So obviously, if you prefer a Steam key, that's fine. The only reason why I promote the GOG channel is it is a way that if you're already making the purchase, it is a way that you can put a little bit of revenue to the stream without sort of taking that cost on yourself. But I would much rather you play games on the platforms that you like. I advocate very strongly for GOG because I prefer it as a platform, but it's up to you to decide where you want to keep your things. I will say that Jesse Quill does also have partnership with Humble, so I suspect you can purchase the game through the Humble store using her affiliate link, and that's a way you can support somebody involved with the stream as well. I agree, Echo Baz. I've enjoyed their games since Crimson Steam Pirates. So the only one I haven't played is Necropolis. But I was very delighted to find out that I actually played an iPad game that they made before Shadowrun Returns had a Kickstarter. Quick word, I don't really do, so there's no like review stuff to say about this. I mean, my feelings about this game are just that, you know, based on a very slim view of the campaign. You know, I had a good time of it. I thought there's a couple of things that are worth talking about so far as their take on MechWarrior. I suspect once the game is released, you'll see the formal reviews, so if you guys want to hold off on your purchases, you know, if that matters to you. Obviously, I don't do formal reviews. It's kind of hard to escape talking about impressions about games, but definitely the highlights for me was the fact that the campaign is more than just we're going to string a bunch of missions together and it's like skirmish mode except with dialogue scenes in between. And I was really struck by how much this feels like playing tabletop Battletech. So obviously I was a Kickstarter backer. I was pretty much primed to enjoy this thing from the get-go. But I had a lot of fun sharing this game with you guys, and I'm very happy that you guys got something out of it as well. Yeah, that's not a problem at all, Echo Baz. I will say, if you do want to do some kind of support to this stream, that link that's up there, Humble Bundle, does give you Steam keys. So that's a way that you can do, that's the way you can do the same thing. But again, honestly, like, I do this as a hobby. It's nice to have some of the costs of doing this offset, but my feeling is that GOG needs to make the value proposition to you to make it worth not buying on Steam. If you prefer to have things as a Steam key, that's fine. You know, Harebrained Schemes is the company that made the good game, and they're the ones who deserve your money. If I get some, you know, a little bit of revenue for driving traffic, that's great for me. But I don't feel that people should be inconvenienced for that. I have a real job. well, I mean, not that streaming isn't a real job. I have a day job, and so it's a nice to have. It's never a requirement. All right, what else was I gonna say? I will be playing more of this game, probably not this week, because this week I am gonna do Cultist Simulator on Wednesday. I can't remember what I've got on deck for Friday. I was actually taking a look at, so I made a list of stuff that I wanted to do for April, and April is very close to the end. So I think some of the story-based stuff is going to have to... I think I'm going to have to put some of that stuff later on. Oh, that's great to hear, Echo Buzz. Thank you. Again, please do not feel obligated to do that. GOG has been very good to me, but again, by doing the stuff, by using the tools that you want. But again, if you do decide to use GOG, it helps me. Even if you make an account on GOG, those links help. So I really do appreciate that. Again, it's a small gesture, but it is one that means quite a bit to me. So thank you. But yeah, so rest of the week, definitely Wednesday I'm going to do more Cultist Simulator. I've been very pleasantly surprised by the feedback that I've gotten from that. So thank you for that, guys. It is worth saying. I have had moments where I've said I wasn't going to cast Cultist Simulator because I sort of feel like I ran out of things to say about it, and I didn't think people really wanted to see more content until like a new patch was out, and I was very wrong. The feedback that I've been getting through the comments is fantastic, and they are among some of the highest viewed stuff on YouTube. And I don't promote the YouTube channel, so like it's really impressive to see that. It just communicates how much it means to have people give me positive feedback. Even tonight, people saying that they really enjoyed Battletech. It means that I'm going to do the game again. I'm sure a lot of you are going to enjoy playing the game when it releases. It's coming out very soon. So I don't feel particularly bad that I'm not maybe going to play it this week. But, you know, I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do pick it up, if you are waiting for more Battletech, I'll definitely go. I'm not going to do it on another Monday. I do want to go back to Stellaris, but obviously it was a chance for me to play Battletech early. I'm not going to pass that up, but it is still a Paradox strategy game. So I feel it's in the spirit. Next Monday is going to be Stellaris. I'll see if on next Wednesday or Friday, not this coming one, but the one following one, we'll see if we can fit a little Battletech in it, because I can see myself going through a fairly long-standing campaign with it. And depending on whether or not Jesse Quill feels up to it, we might do a little multiplayer. You enjoy any game that I play? My voice is awesome. I sound very sound in what I say about games. Oh, that's very kind. How did I get a copy? Well, I was a Kickstarter backer, Echo Baz, and then I do occasionally get some promotional keys. So in this case here, I was given access to the beta branch to do a promotional stream. So that's why I'm fairly clear in terms of like, this is a let's play. This is, I mean, again, I'm not going to pretend that I don't give immediate reactions. So when I say to you, I really like the fact that this is a story-based game, it's not a review. It's something I said earlier on in the stream, so I can't really escape that, but reviews are for other people. This is more sort of like, I played 3 hours of this and it was fun, and I had a lot of fun sharing it with you guys. But yeah, usually when you see somebody playing an early copy of the game, there was a promotional copy given out. So. But in my case, the other interest that I have to disclose is, of course, I did back the game on Kickstarter. So, you know, with that in mind, I'm kind of predisposed to like it. It's why I'm pretty clear that I don't do reviews on stuff like that. Because, I mean, there's just so many other people doing that kind of content. It's not interesting to me, and it's, I mean, again, because I tend to kickstart stuff, because I tend to be very enthusiastic about games in general, I just don't think I convey that much information as far as, like, I can give this a 70 out of 100 or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't obviously not the same beta as the Kickstarter one, but that's basically what it was. I agree. I'm really looking forward to the next thing that they have. I suspect there's probably going to be some DLC for this, because you can see that they really laid out the universe and the opening cinematic for this. I know the clan stuff is always controversial when that comes in, so it'll be interesting to see if they do introduce the clans into this. But I was surprised. I never knew about the periphery that much in the Battletech universe, so it's been fun to learn a little bit about it inside here. There's nice little touches like being able to mouse over keywords to talk about the lore and stuff like that. I just think it's very much what I was expecting. Which is good, because I was feeling a little worried about the beta that I played originally. What else? Yeah, I think I've worn out my welcome. I'm already 15 minutes past the time I said I was going to finish. So thank you everybody for watching. I will mention on Twitter when I'm doing Battletech again, but let's pencil it in for next week. Wednesday, we're going to do more Cultist Simulator. Friday, I'm not quite sure yet. It could be Battletech. It's just that I've got other stuff to do, so I don't think it's realistic for me to assign that. And until next time, I guess. Let's try and find somebody to host tonight. Uh-oh. Thank you, Eyes of Sin. You're definitely very kind. Well, you and Jess are very kind in terms of my, I don't know, I'll call it voice acting if I have to. But yeah, both of you were unduly kind this this stream when I wasn't doing my silly voices. Okay, so it's a big streamer option. There's a few great people worth watching. So Kilgore is playing Ultima 4 on GOG.com. So if you like classic RPGs, I'll recommend that. Ponce is doing EverQuest. Now, I've hosted him a couple of times while he's doing EverQuest, so I think I'll hold off. I'm also going to mention K5RTO, who we met on the Surviving Mars stream. He's doing Elite Dangerous right now, but it has been a little while since I've hosted W. Shand. He's currently doing the Midnight Society, in which he tends to, I don't know, he tends to mock independent horror games. So I think it'd be nice to give him a quick host. It's been a while since I've done that. So if you'd like the raid messages, we're tired of system talk. Heard this place was better. I know we've lost kind of like a third of the viewership from the start of tonight. Again, very special thank you to Jesse Quill, Johnny Big Time, the Eyes of Sin for the host. Actually, this is something I haven't done for a while. So sorry, I'm going to do a slightly more extended thank you, but extended good night. But it's been a while since I've done this, so we've actually got a lot of hosts tonight. So we've got Flofi, the Eyes of Sin 92, Rambler 146, Rogue Usagi, Miss Ariella, Jesse Quill, Unknown Brigade, Nubisor 42, Malicide, Kaylee Cake, Starbright Knight, Freighter 5, Johnny Big Time, Yorkshire Bastard, Custom Games, Synthetic Sneck, Inferno Fowler, and Mingo Duck hosting us. I know it's easy for me to give the thank yous to the people who did the manual hosts because there's an alert that comes up. But it means a lot when you guys retweet the stream, when you host, when you auto-host, things like that. So it is important to remember some of those as well. I am going to shut up and I'm going to host W. Shand, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Feel free to use that raid message. We're tired of system talk. Heard this place was better. He's definitely a much more entertaining caster than I am, and so I know I'm leaving you in good hands. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all on Wednesday.